Right, are we ready then for the Austrian GP? It's time for the main course. Where are we today? Austrian GP. Again, it's Verstappen and Norris at the top. Although it is Verstappen ahead this time. Who is going to come out on top here? On the countdown to the race, let's get things going. How is everyone doing? We're gonna sneeze, maybe? Yeah, okay. Cool, I need to get a new ticker in at the bottom there because that's when we were doing Formula E yesterday. That was a very dramatic finish. Goodness me, was it dramatic. That's for another time. Today is all about Formula 1. It looks like it's sunny out there, but I'm going to double check for you. Let me get some breaking news in there. What have we got breaking? Now we've got the old ticker tape actually working. There with me, everyone. Oh, goal alert. Goal alert coming in. Let's get the chat going as well. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. And let me just get the lap timing here that we're going to want. So let me just get this. Ooh. I'm hoping it's going to be a good race today, but you just never know. You just never know, that's the thing. It could be a good race, it could not. Is it? Will it? Well, we're going to find out. I'm just going to tell it how it is. But yeah, welcome along everyone. How are we doing today? Over 100 people watching already, oh my goodness. Did I find the Sprite Zero? Yeah, I found the Sprite Zero. With the marquee text, it's back today. Great American Buffalo on your BMW S1000. Don't they race those? How many minutes till the start? 35 minutes till the start. 35 minutes till the start. Welcome everyone. Let me just make sure I get everything I need here. Such a busy weekend for the channel. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Oscar Piastri's penalty will stand, by the way. It was appealed by McLaren. Just to give you a visual identification. All four wheels off, and that means that you are going to get a penalty. Need the starting position for the ticker. We can put them in. If you got them, we'll put them in for the ticker. And very soon I'm going to see pictures of the cars going around on circuit and let you know what the weather's like, what the car's looking like. How's the track? Again, I'm going to let you know what it's like. 23 likes. We can do better than that. We know we can do better than that. Who else is in the house today? Actually, let me just get that in as well. Bear with me. Fitterbit's in the house. Start position. There we go. There's a goal alert in the Euros. Just slide down a little bit. Who's in the house? C's here. Clickrock. Had a burger. Taylan Scratan. Craig's here. Chaya's here. Zoe's here. Haddie's here. Daniel Garcia's here. Jordan's here. Seema's here as well. Welcome on board. Jordan's playing GTA 5 on a handheld PC. Is that GTA 5 or GT5? Very different games there. Oh, we got the start in there. Black is here as well. Afro Tonda's here. J Teddy's here. Invid players here as well. Yes, Mo's here. Gunplas here as well. Some big names. Some big names in the chat. Might be a big race. Mark's here. Mark is never not here. He's just constantly subscribed. Lula Dafdu studying and preparing for my exam. What's the exam? Maybe we'll have some experts in the chat. Let us know what the exam is. Is it quantum physics or something? Quantum mechanics? So, I'm having a look here. Oh, cars are going to the grid. Yeah, so 11.5 kilometer wins. Pierre Gasly making his way to the grid. And it's kind of sunny. I mean, we had rumours yesterday there was going to be a storm, right? And we've seen, I know it's not particularly close, but we saw at Spa, if you've been following the Spa 24 hours, storms around that area. How was the race yesterday? I was in Amsterdam. The sprint race is one that will not live long in the memory. Unless anyone disagrees. Not one of the all-time sprint races. Strong winds, though. Seems to be strong winds here at the Red Bull Ring. Austrian Ring, isn't it? Gran Turismo 5. How are you doing that? Have Sony released that on PC? George Ross saying, can you check the steering rack on the grid? It doesn't feel quite right. And George Ross actually coming back into the pits. So George Russell just wants to double check something. This is the time to do it. You don't want to have any issues on the formation lap. Who do I think is going to win? I think Verstappen's going to win this one. I think it's going to be a Verstappen victory, I've got to be honest. And just over 30 minutes till the lights turn on, by the way. Speaking of turning on the lights, how about we turn on some lights over here? Ooh. There we go. Do we like the blue? Ooh, no way. No, thank you. Go for the purple. That's kind of our colour, isn't it? Great American Buffalo. I love this track. That turn where Sector 3 starts is a chance to get right. Yeah, I think they should... I don't agree with the sector map markings here for this circuit. But it's so short. In fact, George Russell went off the circuit at turn 2. Sorry, technically turn 3, so he wasn't really happy about it. I would say you should do the first sector should be turn 1 and turn 3, because turn 2 is not really a corner. It should be turn 3. So sector 1 should end. Yeah, this is how I would do the sectors. I do sector 1 ends just on the exit of turn 3. So it lets you know how good you've gone through the first corner and the third corner. There's very critical corners. Then I would do next sector is to run down, and then it's turn 4. I don't know, I'll lose track, but 4, and then the 2 left-handers in the middle. And the exit of the right as you come. And then the last sector for me would be a ridiculously short sector, which is just the 2 penultimate right-handers. That's how I would do it, and that's why I'm not in charge of Formula 1. Sunshine, who do you think will get P2 today? I'm going to be really boring and say Lando Norris. I mean, I don't think the Mercedes are going to... It's very windy out there, goodness me. It is super windy. There's lots of flags, organised flags. It's like a North Korean sort of military parade almost, just less, you know. But lots of flags in the grandstands. Very, very windy. Taylor, what do you think will be the margin if Max wins? I think if Max wins here, I just wonder if this is really a circuit for the Red Bull. I think Sector 2, in particular, on the when we look at the splits, Max just seems to be in another level. Absolutely another level there. I don't think you can have 2 sectors though. Maybe for a Grade 1 circuit, you need to have 3 sectors. Fernando Alonso, where are you starting? Oh, down in 15th for Alfonso. Lando Norris on the grid. But, yeah, what do people think about this track? Do people like the track or not track? I'll be honest, I never used to like this track in sim racing. It was always like, oh, never used to like it. And I think I did a 3-hour race here in iRacing with my teammate. Really, really, really enjoyed it. Had a really fun race. Felt really strong. And then I got into it in Gran Turismo in GT2, sort of like Super GT cars, like high downforce GT3s, and also got into it. And I really like the short version. Can anyone see on the map where the short version cut through is? So I think the short version, if you see my ranking videos on tracks, I really rate it. Jordan says, qualifying Sector 2, Max is a rocket ship. Yeah, I mean, no one could stop him. I mean, he was, let's be honest, in qualifying yesterday, he was in a class of his own. And he was bettering himself, which is quite ominous and scary. Great American Buffalo says, T3 is a challenge, but real fun to put moves on people with the uphill and late braking opportunity. But we saw Lando absolutely send it from a million miles back yesterday in the sprint race. And if that's indicative of what we might get, then that's a good sign, I think. Drivers do have ice packs on, so I wonder if it's going to be hot like it was yesterday. I think it was 31, 32 degrees air temp yesterday. Welcome, Laura Lynch. Charlie says, honestly, compared to other tracks, this one looks kind of bland. Not many twists and turns. Well, compared to the Nordschleife, maybe. Oh, it's currently time attack. I need to check into it. Got some big videos to record today. Some big old videos. Haddy says, Alonso and Hamilton is the only OG left. What about Nico Hulkenberg? Kevin Magnussen, depends how you're defining OG. Taylan says, I could see Max winning with over 9 to 10 seconds. Well, let me know in the chat if you think Max is going to win this one by more than 10 seconds. I want to know what the strategy is here. If it's a one-stop, it simplifies it for Max. If it's going to be a two-stop, I just don't see it being a two-stop here. I don't see it being a two-stop. Who's going to be on the grid today? So yeah, we're getting closer. Before we know it, it's going to be race start. Valtteri Bottas is looking pretty cool on the grid, but I have to say it hasn't been a good season from him. I think Stake, is fair to say, have been really outshone by Haas, to be honest. And being a team like Kick State, having an absolute meme being your title sponsor, I wonder if it's a bit of a distraction. Peace Above Man says, more of what? Zachary, like always, my money's on Max. My heart always wants Lewis to win. George Lucas is on the grid. George Lucas on the grid here. Obviously, the circuit is called Spielberg, but maybe there was a mix-up with the invitations. And he's got, I think, a Ford GT on his T-shirt. So, hopefully he's going to not put that in the face of the Ferrari people. Jordan, I worry Lando will cook his tyres if he does that dive again. That seemed to be what was happening yesterday a little bit. Cooking the tyres. Max has said previously that... Sorry, Lando has said previously that he can win if he's perfect. We'll see about the tyres. Remember, I was saying yesterday there was a few opportunities where I think Max could have decided to save his tyres, but he decided not to and he went out. So, in terms of who's got new softs, we'll have to see. Everyone went mediums in the sprint race, didn't they? See, what you could do in the sprint race. Let me know what you think about this. What you could do in the sprint race is you could say it's going to be a mandatory one-stop, and we're going to give extra softs to anyone who's not in the top 10. And then that because you've got to remember, the teams are always looking out for themselves. They say they care about the sport, but they don't. They just care about themselves. So what that means is you put them in a bit of a bind. Either they start in the top 10, if you're like, you know, Mercedes, Ferrari, etc. You start at the top 10, but you might come under more attack. Or you think, you know what, it's the better strategy is we'll start lower down and we'll get an extra pair of softs and we'll overtake. And that's why I think it was interesting when the sprint race determined the qualifying actually for the race. I think Formula 1 don't know what they're doing here. They've got too many different ideas of what they should do. Yeah, the sprint race, let's be honest, it wasn't one of the all-time sprint races. Yeah, there are just 24 minutes to go, by the way, till race start. If you're joining us here, 24 minutes to go for the Austrian GP. We are going to be covering it live. Martin Brundle's on the prowl. At the moment, he's not on the grid. He's starting by the garages. Trying to recognise he's there. All the social media crew of the various teams with their phones out, taking short form videos for the banter. Obviously, you are required to make a pit stop in the actual GP race, so all of the mechanics will be getting ready for that. Although, as we saw at Monaco, if there's a red flag on the first lap, that can completely, essentially neutralise it. In fact, those cars didn't really make a pit stop per se, a lot of them. They just changed their tyres effectively on the grid. Welcome CCR Networks. Frederick saying my prediction: Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Russell, Hamilton, Leclerc, Sainz and Perez. Well, you're putting a lot of faith in Piastri there, I have to say. That is a lot of faith in Piastri. I don't know if people think if Piastri's got that level of dog actually in him at the moment. Ron Meadows pointing to the sky. It is windy. I don't know if anyone has a weather forecast, but it does seem to be extremely windy. It's very blustery. People's hair and clothes getting blown around. That could cause havoc, especially when you tip it in for some of these high-speed corners and the wind has changed direction from the previous lap, and that might just push you into the gravel that's there now. Rooker Gaming going Verstappen number 1. Well, we're going to find out very shortly. I do think... What do we think, by the way, in Oscar Piastri's grid penalty? Do we think it was deserved? So Piastri said, look, if you hit the gravel, then that's the penalty, is hitting the gravel. I've seen some really bad takes on this on the internet. I've seen some absolutely horrendous takes. I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, he hit the gravel, that meant he's going to be slower, so don't give him a time penalty. I'm thinking, have you ever raced? Sometimes it's quicker to hit the gravel and carry that speed through than have to apply that lock and increase the heat in your tyres, overheat the tyres, scrub off the speed. So I saw some takes, I think, from people that haven't really raced themselves. Because when you race yourself, you just want to use every element of track width just to minimise the steering lock a lot of the time, in my opinion. Flag is saying 50% rain in 2 hours. Well, 2 hours is going to cut it fine. Stuff can always go wrong. Well, we saw that yesterday with Nick Cassidy. Goodness me. For anyone who was watching the Formula E yesterday, I mean, if that level of drama ever happened in Formula 1, I think the world would explode. I can't remember the last time something like that happened in Formula 1, actually. Lewis, for Lewis, it was too close to call. Embo says Piastri will be hungry. And Buffalo saying Verstappen could cook the tyres. Maybe Verstappen will cook the tyres. Verstappen's a pretty cool cucumber, though. I think maybe we'll see the inverse of what happened in Spain, is when the DRS opens initially, that'll be Lando's chance. Yeah, last year there were like 10,000 track limit violations. Welcome Isabel Flug in the house. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on Sky, but there's a lot of discussion about wheel guns with Mercedes. Surely can't be the most riveting discussion, but if you'll excuse the pun there. But we are just now 20 minutes away, almost sub 20, till the race start. The middle of this triple header. We're going to be back next week for Silverstone, the home GP for me. British GP, and a GP you definitely don't want to go to. You just want to follow it here or watch on TV. Like, you don't... It's not... Well, I don't know. Maybe that's a bit generalistic, but I would say there's definitely a strong argument here. The best way of following the British GP is actually not at the circuit. CCR says, where is the track exactly? And I will see the weather forecast. Well, if you just search Red Bull Ring, you get the coordinates. Jordan says the new track limits on the final corner seem to be working. Well, we saw Leclerc go wide there. Right now, Martin Brundle makes his way to the grid. He's picked up a loose James Vowles on the way. Williams has just hired like 1 million sports personnel from other teams, so that's money coming in from Doritos Capital, Doriton Capital, whatever it is. People coming into that team, will it all work or not? We'll have to see. Isabel says, I think Piastri's penalty was justified. If he was outside track limits, his time should be deleted no matter if it hits the gravel or not. Yeah, I think it's just, if you're outside the white line, I think there was a miscommunication. It sounds like, well, it might be McLaren grandstanding. Who's this? It's like Hans Zimmer in the Big Bimmer is going to be doing the anthem. Piastri going into the gravel again today. Look, I think there was a contradiction because I suspect what race control said to the teams was, look, if you hit the gravel, that's probably going to be a penalty. Like, if you hit the gravel, that's going to be track limits. Like, notwithstanding the white line, this is probably going to be track limits. And it seems like Piastri was trying to play the argument on the way and say, look, if I hit the gravel, then that is the de facto track limit, and therefore don't give me a penalty because you've already punished me with gravel. Because I haven't seen a definitive image where it's been shown that Piastri was sort of fully outside the white line. Because I've only seen images where it's overhanging. Or could potentially be overhanging. Who's on the circuit here? Jos Verstappen's here. Is Jos chatting with Flavio? Flavio B. The formerly disgraced Audi team principal at Renault in Crashgate. And Fernando Alonso's teammate Nelson Piquet Jr. crashed in Singapore on purpose to bring out a safety car. Is somehow now everyone's best friend in the paddock. So, do more Crashgate and be welcome back to the paddock. That seems to be the message. Don't know what anyone else thinks about this. Flavio, obviously a man with an interesting past. Welcome Natasha, welcome Nathan Van Zuet. Seema says he cooked the corner. And Isabel coming in saying, medium hard tire. So is it going to be a two-stop? It's going to be a two-stop. Well, that might make it more interesting then. If the compounds that Pirelli have bought are going to induce a two-stop. Jos Verstappen was meant to be driving a Red Bull car through the streets, but then Christian Horner said, no, you're not driving a Red Bull car. And there's been a big bust-up. And Max Verstappen's been in the middle and said he understands his dad's position. So, again, just more absolute chaos at Red Bull. It's like the last days of Rome there. Everyone's scrabbling for control. Flavio, reformed citizen. Maybe he's a reformed citizen now. Welcome, Jason Roberts. Good morning from Florida. I hope you're doing well in Florida. Isabel, I didn't see an image where he clearly went over the white lines either, but you were definitely able to see that he hit the gravel, so I agree with your assessment. Maybe that's it. Oh, who's this? It's Johnny Herbert's here. Who's here in FIA capacity. Of course, he was a Sky Sports analyst. And then I think he was fired because he's no longer with Sky Sports. And the rumours are that it's to do with his views on Michael Massey and that sort of situation there. Obviously, he gave Fernando Alonso a penalty in a recent race. And he's had some bust-ups with Fernando Alonso before. Fernando Alonso is not his biggest fan. So it looks like Johnny Herbert is on the stewards panel here with the FIA. Maybe he was one of the stewards that decided to... Well, I was going to say he might be one of the stewards that decided to reject McLaren's penalty with Oscar Piastri. But I think in the end it was a technicality. Apparently McLaren didn't submit the protest in the right way or right time frame or something. It's going to be already 15 minutes ago. It's going to be the anthem. I don't know whether the Austrian anthem is a banger, but if Hans Zimmer in his Bimmer is going to be doing it, maybe it is. Yeah, I posted the picture on the community page in YouTube. Gerald Gaming, when's the race start, bro? 15 minutes till race start. Lewis says Flavio is not reformed. We will see. Daniel Ricciardo is jogging to the anthem. All the drivers are in place. They do it in a V, I think, because they don't. The drivers. There's too many drivers to fit across a track. They wouldn't fit, and they probably don't want to stack them one in front of the other. I think they do that sometimes. So here they've done it in a V, so the drivers are sort of like looking at each other. Stray Dave says, "Who have you got for podium?" I'm thinking Verstappen, Norris. I tell you what is one of the interesting things in this race is actually the battle between Mercedes and Ferrari. Like Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Leclerc. I think that's a really interesting battle there. And also to see how Perez does, the classic Hülkenberg train. How does Nico Hülkenberg keep qualifying so high and there's inevitably going to be a train? Hans Zimmer's doing the anthem with Formula 1 fans. I think the fans are sort of just like sort of vibing. Do we know whether the Austrian anthem's a certified banger or not? Can anyone confirm? Is it certified? Wow, military helicopters in the sky. It's all kicking off. It's almost American. Hans Zimmer's just living his absolute best life right now. Do you think there'll be a chase between Lando and Max? We'll see. Obviously, I hope so. They're all having a great time doing the anthem. It looks like a sort of pop song. Maybe it is a certified banger. Lewis said it sounds crap. Okay. Chat, can we get some more views on the Austrian anthem? Is it a certified banger or not? Adrian says, nice Sunday walk in the park for Max. Chaya says 10% chance of rain according to Dutch live blogs. Now we know the Dutch live blogs are not always, shall we say, the most accurate source of information. So that 10% could literally be anything. Could be 0, could be 80%. Buffalo says Ricardo Snowden's going to be a good watch. And Spleen says it is a certified banger. Well, I think everyone's having fun. Everyone's having a great... I've never seen people have such a great time performing the anthem. Everyone's just vibing. Tyler, who do you want to win? I don't really... There's no one I really want to win. I'm just interested who's going to do well. Electric guitar and the national anthem is crazy. Well, that's just how Big Zimmer rolls. Reed says you always look good Norwich, my friend. Yeah, I think Reed Van Loon is going to be in the KCR F1 Championship this evening. Every day after the F1 race in our community, there is a Gran Turismo F1 race that anyone can join. Make sure, by the way, if you're not in the Discord, make sure you join that Discord. Exclamation mark Discord. Over 4,000 people. Everyone's just chatting away. I just pay the server fee so everyone can have a good time. So please, 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 if you want to hang out with people, definitely join Discord. Got some planes now. It looks like a P51 Mustang. What's that Mustang doing here? And is it 2 Eurofighters? Maybe 2 Eurofighters as well. It's very American. Bull says, do you think Hamilton will get top 3? Well, that's the interesting thing. It's going to be the battle between Ferrari and Mercedes. We'll have to see. Liam, Europe been having so much rain recently. Yeah, was the football last night suspended? Did I hear that right? When I was doing Formula E. I did see the handball. I mean, if I'd had a handball like that given against me when I was playing, goodness me, I would have exploded. Red Bull own a bunch of World War II planes. Is that their hangar, isn't it? Is that their hangar? Hangar 51 or something? Welcome, Hannah McGarry. Yeah, if you like chatting here, but basically, if you like chatting here, and you kind of like, when the streams are over, you kind of want to chat more, that's what the Discord is for. So discord.gg/Kireth. I'll do a little plug later as well. By the way, some giveaways. If anyone has the Gleam link, you can win a backpack. So you can win a backpack, rucksack. And also, if anyone has Forza Motorsport in the UK and Ireland, today is the last day where you can win. I'm giving away a Astro A50X, not these ones, these are still series. I'm giving away an Astro A50X with Logitech. Only one person has entered so far on Discord. They are going to win it. So if you enter, you have a 50-50 chance of winning it. I don't know where to direct you for that. Some of my tweets a while ago. I'm not very good at this promo stuff. Can you post a link again? I'll send a message. Yep, just 9 minutes to go. So if you do want to win a backpack... Yep, I do have it here. Oh, Vlak has got it. There we go. Yeah, the mods are just too good. So there's a secret password for that. There should be, which is Kireth Austria. If you want to win a backpack. Okay, how far away are we? 9 minutes to go till the race start. Sky on adverts here. Now it's going to get real. The grid walks are done. The anthems are done. Are we ready? Robin just started watching on YouTube. Robin, hopefully it's the start of a long and beautiful journey of you enjoying the content on this channel. I hope so, my friend. Dominator say Norris Verstappen lap 1 crash. I'm calling it. That would be exciting. That I would. Well, if it's safe, we don't want to. We don't hope for crashes on this stream, but a bit of spice between Verstappen and Norris would be great for the championship. Jorex, how are you doing? Thanks yesterday for the recommendation. I bought G7 a Star Wheel. Great stuff, J-Rats. What starter wheel did you get? Make sure to get the beginner masterclass as well. And then you're literally all set. Because in that masterclass, I tell you how to set up your wheels, set up your pedals. So you're not going to be making those beginner mistakes that a lot of other people will be doing. You'll just be getting straight to the action. Love to hear it. Elder Moses says, when's light out? Light out in 7 minutes. 7 minutes to go. Welcome, Marcus. Good to see you. Yeah, it's very close. Robin Tybro asking what car is to collect money for. It's my first one, Supra. I would recommend getting a Peugeot RCZ if you're looking to get a sort of exciting sports car. They're really hot. Marcus in the house. And George Lucas also in the house. So hopefully it's going to be a... I can't even to... I don't know. It's going to be a good race, George Lucas. We'll see. 7 minutes to go. Logan Sargent out qualifying Zhou Guanyu. Oh, there's more Big Zim in the sky thing here. Welcome, Rob Barbie. Greetings from Holland. Zoe, so it's going to Zoe will be at the track. I mean, Zoe's always at the track. Zoe can let us know about the weather. But I don't like how my Discord login is more complicated than my bank. I think that says probably more about your bank, dare I say. Rude Van Loon with the prediction. Max, Lando, Lewis. Welcome, Mud Johnson. No, Gasly did not qualify P3. What are you on, my friend? Okay, let's do a nations check. Let us know where in the world you're watching from. Is it going to be the Netherlands? Is it going to be the Netherlands? Is there any way it's not the Netherlands? Yeah, you can upgrade the pedals so you get TLCMs. I've got some TLCM pedals actually in for review. I need to review them. Chai comes in first. Netherlands, Vlaka, Croatia, Shrey, Thailand, Rooken, Netherlands, Spleen, Netherlands, CCR, Malaysia, Chris Coogan, Florida, C, Boston, Abhinav, India, Jumena, Bangladesh, Hannah, Scotland, Click, Netherlands, Natasha, Netherlands, Tyler, Australia, Rude, Netherlands. Here we go. But Christina Chang, Malaysia, Etienne, January, Namibia, JJ, Michigan, Lewis, Chile, Jordan, Australia, Seema, Australia. Oh, Australia coming back. Clement, Australia. Hang on a second. Are Australia going to win this? Isaiah, Canada. Blips, Indonesia. Rob, Netherlands. Grant, Singapore. Fitbit, Netherlands. Brandon, Netherlands. Zoe, Austria now, but Greece. Marcus, Germany. Daniel, Denmark. Kate, UK. Elder, Australia. Adam Lassett, Somalia. I don't know if it's a win for Australia or Netherlands. Does anyone know? I think it's probably still Netherlands, but I feel like it's Netherlands v Australia. MO Australia. Delhi, Gaddis, Greece. Frederick, Stockholm. Maya, Canada. Zilda, Mexico. By the way, everyone, we are just 4 minutes away from the start of the 2024 Austrian Grand Prix here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, sponsored by Ryanair. We'll call it a draw. 9 from the Netherlands, apparently. Croatia, UK, Germany, Mexico, Greece, Norway, Japan. Radioactive Japan. Well, hopefully not that. Well, Aaron from the USA. And yeah, it is cloud cover. I want to get some info on the track temps and the air temps, but there is cloud cover. Paula from Netherlands, Taratent from Netherlands. It's a classic Netherlands versus Australia battle that we seem to have. Should we speed this up or slow it down? Do we like it faster or slower? I feel like slow is a little bit, feels a little bit smoother, but I might be wrong. South Africa as well in the house. Don't mess with the ticker. That's a motto to live by. Don't mess with the ticker. Okay, 3 minutes to go, everyone. Just 3 minutes to go. 100 likes. But there's 700 people watching. Let's try and get 1,000 likes again on this stream. We did it last time, so we know we can do it. If you're watching this, if you're understanding it, please, please, please hit that like button right now. Let's just do it like a huge like Zerg rush. Just smash the likes in there. Can we get to 200 almost immediately? Hit that like button right now. You get a little animation will pop up as we're about to start the race. Welcome, Kapir Sadev. Good to see you. Marquee Plan A. I am tempted to go in the settings. I want to make it a bit smoother, but I don't want to mess with the settings. I don't want to mess with the settings. Like crush coming in. 144 likes. Come on, chat. We can do it. We can do it. We can get to 1,000. I leave it in your hands. But we know we can get to the big 1K. Okay, so the cars on the grid. Here we go. It's time. It's finally here. No sprint race nonsense. This is it. It's the race on a Sunday, as it should be. Death, taxes, race on Sunday. Welcome Peter Postloth, Deleganis, Robin Kusk as well. And don't break it again. Yeah, I'll try not to. That was dark times yesterday, dark moments. So we've got the mechanics on the cars with the tyre warmers. And there we go. Everyone apart from Zhou Guan Yu on mediums. And everyone on new mediums apart from Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. For some reason, the Astons didn't have a set or didn't want to use a set of fresh meds. So there we go. No one gambling at the top. It's mediums all the way down until we get to Zhou Guan Yu. Who expected that? It's a medium party. Medium rare. Let's go. Let's go indeed. Max Verstappen looking very, very, very focused. Very focused. He knows what he needs to do. He's won just a ridiculous amount of Grand Prix over the last 3 years. So, some more mechanics move away. The front and rear jacks. Just one mechanic left now on each wheel. And it is mediums all the way down until Zhou Guan Yu. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, like they do in 24 Hours Spa. 3, 2, 1. Safety car. All the mechanics now off the grid. 2 red lights. When the Rolex ticks over, we will not crack under pressure. Instead, we will get going on the formation lap. And it is, by the way, Max Verstappen on the outside. The tables have turned from Spain. So Verstappen is not as long a rundown. It's not as long a rundown, I believe, as we have at Spain. From my memory, I've been to Catalunya quite a few times. I've actually never been to the Red Bull Ring, but I have driven it quite a lot. So if Lando wants to poke his head up the inside here at turn 1, it could force Verstappen to take the escape road to avoid the sausage. Oh, by the way, can you help me out right now, if you don't mind? Please, please, please share the stream. Hit that share button underneath the video thing now. It says red share. Share it on Twitter, Insta, Facebook, Reddit, wherever, just share it and say, look, this is live watch along. Share it with your mates. Let them know where you're watching it, because we're going to be here for the next hour and a half or so, seeing what's going to happen as Zhou Guanyu starts from the pit. And please feel free to tag me in that. I'm on all the platforms. Yes, the Gran Turismo movie was here. Obviously, I wasn't in those scenes. I was in different scenes. But, oh my goodness, Max Verstappen, they've got the whole grandstand here. It's a Red Bull grandstand, I presume, theoretically, but it's all decked out for Max. It ain't a Sergio Perez grandstand. Put it like that. Dan the bot in the house saying, let's go Lando. Welcome Snowline as well. Cliff in the house. Tyler 1K viewers. Lucy's here as well. A lot of the big guns are in the chat. 302,000 fans. 302,000, is that right? Yeah. Doesn't sound that impressive, but when you say it, but when you look at it as a number, 302,000 fans this weekend. Now, what's going to happen here, by the way, is I'm going to be about 30 seconds, 30, 40 seconds behind what you're going to see on the stream, because I want to look at the live pictures and let you know how I see it. I'm going to let you know how I see it, and then I will catch up with you. That's how we're going to do it. Do I think Eva will get a free roam? Well, that's coming. I'm going to answer that in a video. So, here we are. We've seen already everyone's on mediums. On my screen, Max is in the pit box. George Russell also pulling in as well. No worries, Lucy. Hopefully everything's going to go very, very, very smoothly. So, on my screen, about half of the field are pulled in. Pretty tight pit here. You also see the visible change they've made on the last corner. Are we ready? Right, I'm going to call it as I see it. I'm going to be about 30 seconds behind, because I want to call the pictures as I see it. So, on my screen, all of the cars are now in position. Remember, we had an aborted start for the sprint race because of photographers. A man with a green flag walks. So 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights at the Red Bull ring. Lights go out now. Is it a good start for Lando? No, it's not the best start. In fact, George Russell might be trying to go around the outside. Lando, is it going to happen? No, this time Lando's a bit more streetwise. Almost a repeat there of Spain in a way. One of the Mercedes, a little bit naughty, goes around to the sausage. That'll be Lewis Hamilton. He's being pressured by a Ferrari that I believe was Carlos Sainz. And George Russell is going to try and go around the outside at turn 3 of Lando, but Lando runs him deep. And it's but it's a great exit from Carlos Sainz at the beginning, but then it gets cut off. And Piastri's on the move. I think Piastri and Sergio Perez are the big gainers there at the beginning, with Charles Leclerc losing out. And Piastri and Perez are going side by side. Piastri might be up. Oh, Piastri gets put into the gravel by Perez. So Piastri again dips 2 wheels in the gravel and loses a position to Leclerc that he would have taken. So I reckon Leclerc had an absolutely terrible start. But Piastri looking so much better than that Ferrari. I think he's going to get the position back almost immediately. Yes, he does. I don't know if Leclerc's got some sort of issue here. Yes, Leclerc in the pits. Box, box. Leclerc was very slow. It may have been a puncture. So Leclerc and Logan Sargent both in the pits. I'm now going to catch up with your pictures, because we can see it is Verstappen and Norris, Russell, Hamilton. So, pretty much as we were at the top, but the Ferraris have dropped down. It's bad news for the Ferraris, and I wonder if there was a bit of contact there for Leclerc. Leclerc will surely now be on the hard tyres, and I don't know what they're going to do. New nose for Leclerc. Oh, his season just goes from bad to worse, but he does have the race win at Monaco. A Monegasque driver winning in Monaco. You will take that, surely. And here we are. It's Lewis Hamilton now in P5. He's got the fast set to 1. In fact, Hamilton's all over Russell. Maybe Hamilton's got the pace over George Russell. Yeah, Perez was looking pretty racy there. Remember, Perez started quite a bit down. Now he's already up into P6. And the Ferrari... Oh, well, I don't know what happened to Leclerc. I'll need to see. But it looks like Hamilton is all over George Russell. Lando Norris with the fastest lap that time around. You can see the gap to Verstappen is 1.3 seconds, so he's not within DRS when that activates. Welcome, Black Darkness. Matty G absolutely broken right now. And yeah, you can see Leclerc there right at the back. Goodness me, he'll need a safety car here. He'll need a safety car. Hamilton was thinking about it on Russell. DRS was open, by the way. DRS was open. but Hamilton was not able to really go for it. Interestingly, as 69 laps to go, Hamilton went for it on the outside in turn 3, and Russell said no. So, and in fact, no, Hamilton did get ahead. It must have been Russell got back at him. Hamilton did get ahead into turn 3. So did George Russell go round the outside at turn 4? Yes, he did. The Mercedes are swapping positions here. The Mercedes are really racing. And I just wonder if they need to get their house in order here, Mercedes, because if they've got good pace, they might want to crack on and put Lando under pressure. Meanwhile, Verstappen is eking out about half a second a lap. I mean, that time is a little bit more. 109.8 for Verstappen, 110.5 from Norris. Maybe Norris's tyres are not in the same window now as Max Verstappen. Walmwood says, race over from my F1 podcast co-host. You haven't seen the F1 podcast? Go on over to the Kireth Motorsport channel. You see them there. Might be shooting another one soon. Front wing and end plate damage for Leclerc. Goodness me. Hamilton Sainz incident being investigated. That'll be Hamilton running wide. That I spotted. He ran wide to avoid the sausage at turn 1. Be surprised if he gets a penalty, though, for that, unless he has gained an advantage in doing that. So here we go then. Hamilton is really close to Russell. And I wonder if... Well, it's interesting here at Mercedes, isn't it? Because Russell is their driver. Hamilton's on the way out. So what do you do if you're Mercedes here? Hamilton, they might... You tend to tell Hamilton, just Hamilton, ease off. Look after your tyres. Maybe manipulate him. Tell him Hamilton's tyres are way too hot. Give him false information. Because at the moment, well, Hamilton was very, very, very racy with George Russell there. Dominating Verstappen win 30 seconds. It's 2.3 at the moment for Verstappen. It's like the Verstappen era that we've seen before, potentially. Bastian saying Norris needs to back off. Why would he back? It's the opposite. This is racing. It's not called backing offing. So, yes, are the Mercedes still racing each other? I believe so. And in fact, I wonder if George Russell is not looking super confident here, because he potentially starting a train. Look at Nico Hülkenberg. He's not too far behind Oscar Piastri, and Piastri was looking so good at the beginning of the race, and now Piastri's sort of dropped off a little bit. Maybe again as the tyres enter a new phase. I think if you're Mercedes here, if Hamilton has the pace, you need to swap these two drivers around. What do we think, chat? This isn't Sky Sports. Let us know in the chat. Would you let Lewis Hamilton through here, or would you say let them race, or would you tell Hamilton to back off? What would you do? CCR says let him cook. Let him cook. Welcome along, everyone. 2,000 people watching. Good to have you on board. And you can see the Aston Martin's really not looking good. And look at the stakes. The stakes are looking terrible here, dropping off the back of the pack. Really struggling with something. Did Hamilton get pushed wide? Ooh, there wasn't a lot for him to go. I think it's probably fair enough Hamilton takes this escape route. I'm going to have a look here from Charles Leclerc. When did he get the damage to his front wing and his end plate? Who was that contact with? Remember, he was the driver that started, if I remember, he started in P4. Oh, Oscar Piastri clipped it. Oscar Piastri overtook him round the outside and sort of ran over Charles Leclerc's front wing. Is that okay? Is that allowed? Let me see. Oh, I'm not sure. They might put Piastri. You'd think they'd need to investigate it and see what they actually think about it, because Piastri has sort of ended Leclerc's race here. And I wonder if Piastri has picked up a bit of damage as well or not. Now, what's happened here? Hamilton's lost out to Sainz. How's Hamilton lost out to Sainz here? I haven't seen it on the footage. I've been glued to the footage. Piastri saying he pushed me off. I was side by side at the apex. But what on earth has happened here to Lewis Hamilton to drop back behind Carlos Sainz? Bastian says the thing is glitching. What's going on with Hamilton here? I'm just seeing a load of replays of Oscar Piastri, but the race director not interested in showing us what's happened with Lewis Hamilton losing out to Carlos Sainz. Hamilton Sainz, no further action in turn 1. And I wonder if it was just a fairly straightforward DRS move by Sainz on Hamilton. Is Hamilton going to try and get back here? They're pretty much side by side as they go through turn 4. You don't want to be on the outside there, particularly if you're Alex Albon and Lewis Hamilton's on the inside. So he says, bruh, Oscar Piastri is giving it everything to try and get past Perez, and I think he's done it. I think Oscar Piastri's done it. I think he's got past Perez. So, but look at Verstappen now, 3.2, and the gap just looks like it's going to extend. Although Lando Norris was able to match him last lap. What about this lap? Can he match him? Not as much, 3/10 behind. So Piastri ahead of Sergio Perez. Lewis Hamilton now behind Carlos Sainz. How much of a lead does Verstappen have? Well, he needs about a 20-second lead. I don't think that's going to happen in the first stint, but we'll see. Depends when people pit or not. Yeah, Michaela's got it. Leclerc boxed. Front wing change. If someone wants to put a summary in, one of the mods maybe, I can paste it into the ticker tape and we can get that. Chris saying, did Norris cook his tyres? Getting that fastest lap from the start. It potentially could be the case here. As Hamilton is all over Carlos Sainz. See, the gap is about 3/10. So Hamilton is a very exciting race for Hamilton, but I think he might prefer a bit more straightforward. We will see. Piastri going to get Lewis now? I don't know. 2,000 people watching, 200 likes. By the way, if you're new here or you've been here a few times, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. You won't regret it. You're going to help us take it to 100k, and that means that we can do these things actually at the circuit, like we're going to do at Formula E in a few weeks' time. And hit that like button as well. Smash that like button for me, please. Let's get up to 1,000 likes. If everyone hit the like button right now, we would get 1,000 likes, and we'd all feel really good about ourselves. How is Hamilton doing? Piastri extending the gap over Sergio Perez. Hamilton is now still half a second behind Carlos Sainz, but he will get DRS again. So keep an eye on Hamilton. Do I think Hülkenberg will finish in the points? I'm not sure. Zoe's going to stay quiet. Bit of a nervous one, this one. Tension in the front two. Is that between Verstappen and Norris? Because the gap is sort of a little bit more stable now at 3.4 seconds. Hamilton, how far behind Sainz are you? It's half a second. Is he going to try and go for a big send? Remember, if Sainz goes defensive, they have to go around the outside, which is very risky to do. Charles Leclerc, how are you lapping? Well, Charles Leclerc, I mean, the stake F1 cars here look absolutely terrible. I have to say. Absolutely atrocious from them. 3.3 is the gap between Verstappen and Norris. I think it's come down. Remember, the story of the last few races has been... In fact, I'm going to have a look here. Carlos Sainz, how did he send it? Oh my goodness, there was a huge overspeed. Almost looked like a issue there for Hamilton. This is the original overtake when Sainz got past. Sainz came from so far back, it looks like Hamilton almost didn't reach top gear or something. So that was very, very, very unusual. Obviously, it looks back to fighting form now. Welcome back, D6. Mark says, Piastri, good move against Sainz. Yeah, early on in the race. It's all changing now. Clickrock saying, Sargent laying down some impressive lap times. Logan Sargent has just set the fastest Sector 1 for him. But otherwise, the field in Sector 1, you can see, is very, very, very compact. The whole field, there's only, as far as I can see, about 3/10 between. There's only 3/10 between the fastest driver and slowest driver in Sector 1. Pretty crazy. Deligan says, Matt's taking the fun out of it, like the other guys have a chance too. Whoa, you've got to be patient, my friend. Be patient. As we saw yesterday in Portland, everything can change. Everything can change. But yeah, Logan Sargent is indeed trying to rip it up. But look at Leclerc. Leclerc is doing sort of front runner times at the back though because of his front wing damage, which is a real shame. It'd be great to have Leclerc in that front pack as well. Is Hamilton going to catch up with Sainz? No, he's sort of dropped off a bit. He's almost out of DRS actually. I'd say I'm really impressed. Oh, Kevin Magnussen pits. Okay, and Ricciardo. So we've got some drivers there in the sort of back end of the midfield, or the back end of the pack really, who are boxing, and that might put some pressure. You might see Ocon or Gasly or Tsunoda or Alonso or Albon pit this lap. So keep an eye on the sector times of those drivers in the back pack. If they're going to set personal best sector times, they might be using the last bit of that rubber to avoid getting undercut. We will see. Safety car would make things interesting. Yeah, they always do. They always do. And Walmud saying McLaren with the fastest car on the grid, but Max being the deciding factor. Well, Sergio Perez is in the same car, but he's 14 seconds behind. So you would suspect that is actually due to the difference in the driver rather than the car. So who is going to box in that lower midfield now? We will see. Keep an eye on those sector times, like I said. Is anyone ripping it up? Kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell. Maybe someone like a Valtteri Bottas, I'm not sure. But Bottas is just so far off the back. Who's boxing now? Anyone boxing? There we go. Hülkenberg boxes. So both Hasses going early. Tsunoda not boxing though. So the RB cash apps on different strategy. And there goes Alonso into the pits as well. So Fernando Alonso and the Aston Martin decides to box. And you can see Kevin Magnussen there on the fresh tyres. I'm going to guess it's going to be fresh hards. He's gone on to. Is setting personal best second and third sectors. So he's looking good. And he didn't get too far away, if I'm understanding it correctly, from undercutting Nico Hülkenberg. So Nico Hülkenberg, who I said was doing really well, needed to box to cover off his own teammate there. And that might show just how beneficial the undercut is. In fact, it's very close between Hülkenberg and Magnussen. It's got crash written all over it. Welcome Carl, Ben, Gary, Ali, V-Room, Chris and Istvan as well. Good to have you on board. Istvan Fedor, the man behind Race Labs, in the house. Daniel, Max will cruise now to extend tyres. Well, we'll see. He's got a 5-second gap, which he might be managing. Yeah, if someone has a summary, we can post it in the ticker if we want. Or otherwise, we've got... Oh, it's overtake off the circuit there between the two Haas cars. And in fact, Magnussen has got ahead. Magnussen has got ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. Let them race. And it was into turn 4, DRS assisted as Alex Albon pits, that there was a swap there for the Haas drivers, even though Nico Hülkenberg got into Q3 and Kevin Magnussen didn't. And it looks like Hülkenberg might be coming back here. You'd love to see if they're going to swap again. How close are they? 410s, very, very, very close. And DRS up the hill as well. Should Hamilton be giving cars a 2025 seat? I've got some interesting news for you. It's already happened. Looks like Magnussen might just be staying ahead unless there's going to be a big send from the Hulk. Daniel Ricciardo will be looking at this, licking his chops because he's right behind it. It's going to be slowing them down. And you can see Charles Leclerc has managed to get ahead. This is very interesting. Charles Leclerc and Alex Albon have both done a pit stop in this race. Leclerc had to change his front wing as well, but he's got ahead of Alex Albon. I wonder if you see Leclerc somehow manage to get in the points here, it's going to be a hell of a drive from Charles Leclerc. Thank you so much, player, by the way, for membership. Please get some claps out in the chat for Unforgiven Player, who's joined the membership. Thank you so much. It massively helps us out here. Or helps me out on this channel. Can we get some claps out in chat for Unforgiven Player there, who is our newest members, exclusive emojis, and has got some new stuff in the members lounge as well. 1 second. Right. What is the situation now with the front runners pitting? But yeah, keep an eye on Leclerc. Although it looks like Leclerc and Albon. In fact, Albon's just overtaken Charles Leclerc there. Look at the claps come out in chat. We love to see it. Can someone tell me if Red Bull could legally forfeit Perez's new contract? Obviously, you can do that. You just got to pay. You can buy the man out that you've just locked into the contract. So I don't know if that's a dub for Perez there. It's more of a dub than it would have been, I guess, financially. But yeah, Albon now ahead of Leclerc, having said that. And I'm having a look here. Again, it was DRS assisted up the hill for the glory of 18th place. And it was a move by Alex Albon on Charles Leclerc there. Meanwhile, Nico Hülkenberg has got back ahead of Kevin Magnussen. So the Hasses are having a good battle as well. Charles Leclerc did try and get back on Albon into turn 4, but he decided not to send it up the inside, and he sort of dropped back now, so maybe a missed opportunity there. 5.4 is the gap between Verstappen and Norris, and there's 4:10, so it looks like Norris might have really gone for it at the beginning of the race. You can see he has the purple lap, the fastest lap, but maybe he's suffering there with the deg now. Magnussen being told, got to manage the tyres, Kev, got to manage the tyres. I think that's code for stop fighting. And Kevin saying, just me or Nico too. Both cars need to save. And Magnussen saying, that. Kevin Magnussen is a wily operator. He's not going to stand for this nonsense on the radio. He's going to cut straight through it. You love to see it. Old school mentality there. Ted, if Max retires without beating the stat of Lewis and wait another decade for someone to close the gap, unless Alonso, not sure what that means, my friend there. Not sure indeed. Delegano says, if Sargent remains for next season, I'm going to be so supposed. Well, hopefully you're not going to be too supposed. We don't need that. The Hasses are definitely fighting, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm here for that. Who's in the lead at the moment? Hulkenberg is leading that Haas battle. Julie Vivers is here. Team Norris. Let me know in the chat, by the way, who are you supporting? Who are you supporting out here? Oh, looking at track limits, Charles Leclerc was in the gravel, but I think still within track limits, running wide on one of the corners. Can't tell which one because it's a super slow-mo. So Leclerc is really pushing here. I wonder if he's, the big win for him will be getting into the points. Fair play. Mark says, did Alonso pit? Yeah, Alonso did pit. Thanks to Unforgiven Player. Thank you so much for the membership. Really, really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. Kati Uji in the house as well. We're going to get the summary in here. Goodness me, the chat is absolutely on fire. I'm trying to get the summary. It's moving up. Boom. The chat is literally on fire. Do we have any firefighters? Let me just make sure I'm live on the footage. Yes, I am. Here we go. Mary Hudson, can you say hi to Melvin for me, please? The first time watching. Hello to Melvin. Hope Melvin's doing great. I hope Melvin's enjoying the Formula One. Greg saying Verstappen running away. Well, goodness me, Verstappen is almost about to lap Logan Sargent. Can you believe it? Logan Sargent did have an issue as well at the beginning of the race. Might have been a front wing change. Oh, Leclerc pits again. That's not good. That might be a retirement. That might be a retirement for Charles Leclerc. We'll have to put some Fs in the chat if he's retired, because that's not good. Although, is he coming out? He's coming out. What's going on with Charles Leclerc? What are they doing? What is the Ferrari strategy? Can anyone explain this Ferrari strat? What was he on before? What came off that? Well, he's come out on mediums. I can tell you that. They look like fresh mediums. So Charles Leclerc with just some like a mad Ferrari strat here. Spleen saying just standard Ferrari tactics. Bayezid just came in. What's wrong with Leclerc? How long do you have Bayezid, Mahmoud? Charles Leclerc is now going to be getting blue flags waved in his face. And I don't think he's going to enjoy it. Lucy says, poor Charles. Even Ferrari can't explain their strategy at this point. Welcome RL and Executor and Dino Singh as well. Big Dino in the house. If you're enjoying this and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. This thing will move here. It's completely free. By the way, you won't regret it. No one who subscribes regrets it. So Leclerc is now battling with another Williams. This time it's Logan Sargent. I don't understand that. Unless he was on sauce, but I don't think he was. So when are we going to start to see any of the front runners pitting? Because remember, everyone, pretty much everyone started on the mediums. D6 says the Ferrari strat is literally nothing except crash everything to block the race or sabotage the race. Well, with Ferrari, you know what you're going to get. And you kind of got to respect that a little bit. Meanwhile, what was going on with Hamilton? He was really putting pressure on Russell for P3. Even momentarily getting into P3. Now he's completely lost out to Sainz and backed off. Chris says Leclerc's damage to front wing possibly might have made internal damage to car aero, affecting tyre deg. But you'd think if it's... I mean, I'm not sure what they're really doing here. Because they're not going to get a point. I'm on board with Charles Leclerc. Was there contact with Albon? Was there contact with Albon going into the penultimate corner? Leclerc went for a move on the inside. Or is that just a move on Sargent? It's just, oh my, it was just a boring move on Logan Sargent. Apologies. Chris says, honestly, what is Ferrari thinking? Your guess is as good as my guess when it comes to Ferrari strategy. Your guess is as good as my guess. But Carlos Sainz is on the move. Could Lando get a safety gap in the driver's... Well, yeah, I mean, Charles Leclerc was the driver earlier on in the season that was putting the pressure on to Max Verstappen. He wasn't ill like Carlos Sainz. He won in Monaco. And that was potentially meant to be a springboard for his championship as Esteban Ocon comes in. But it's just gone from bad to worse since Monaco. It's a Monaco curse. The Monaco curse has reborn itself in a worse way than it was before. Is there a Hulkenberg train? Not really at the moment. It's not really a big Hulkenberg train. Valtteri Bottas in the stake in as well. You see Ocon comes out in last place, even though Albon's pitted. By the way, that shows you that Charles Leclerc had actually worked himself in to quite a good place. Because he would have been there or thereabouts with Ocon, with Albon, and sort of not a million miles away from fighting from the points. So that second pit stop, obviously something must have happened. I don't think Ferrari are literally insane. Dr. Carol Phillips in the house saying, Sir Lewis Hamilton for me. You might not be live there in Barbados. Vaneka says, Sergeant, question mark. What do you want to know? Welcome house to you. Welcome Jellyfan, RBLX. Good to have you on board. As Pierre Gasly in the other Alpine comes into the pits here. By the way, that is going to promote Esteban Ocon. No, there was some issue with the transponder there. It's an issue with the transponder when cars come into the pits. So let's see where Gasly and Stroll come out relative to the likes of Ocon. How's Zhou Guanyu? Zhou Guanyu, who started from the pits, is up in P13. But remember, I'm not sure Zhou... Oh my goodness! Zhou Guanyu in P3, when all across sausage went kind of mid-air. Oh, he's been hit by an Aston Martin. Who was that? Was that Alonso then? He's been launched off the curb. Zhou Guanyu was not happy about that at all. Ikran Khan says, who am I supporting? I'm not really supporting anyone per se. Oh, here comes Hamilton. Hamilton comes into the pit. So Hamilton, the first of the front runners. Is that going to put pressure on Carlos Sainz? Perez comes in as well. Is that going to put pressure on Oscar Piastri? Lucy, Ocon's car sounds awful. Is that any different, or is that just you saying that's standard? The Alonso Zhou Guanyu incident is under investigation, by the way. And yeah, if you do want to win a backpack, it is there. But Hamilton comes out. Look, Hamilton comes out only just ahead of Hulkenberg and Magnussen. Are the Hasses actually doing a mad strat here? And Sergio Perez, I don't understand this at all. Fernando Alonso, who started this race all the way down in P15 or something, has pitted once, and he's now only just behind Sergio Perez. Just going to change my headset battery. Pit stop for me here. Yeah, but what's the pace between Leclerc and Verstappen? Leclerc's actually lapping faster than Verstappen here. As George Russell comes in, I'd be surprised if Piastri doesn't. Ooh, Piastri doesn't actually. So Sainz and Russell come in, but Piastri stays out. So interesting, Piastri goes long. I'm looking at a replay of Hamilton. Was it him coming into the pits? Was there an issue? Did he go over the white line or something? Or he just had a bit... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa! Hamilton had some oversteer coming in, and he might be over the white line, failing to follow race direction instructions, crossing the line at pit entry. That might be a penalty for Lewis Hamilton there. I think he also crossed it again casually, just to make sure. Is Verstappen going to close the gap? There is no gap for him to close. He's in the lead. I don't understand the question. What about Lando? Verstappen boxes now. Will Lando follow him, or will we see a different strat? Will Lando follow? No, Lando follows as well. So our leaders pit. Will they keep Piastri out to sort of slow down Verstappen if Piastri's going to come out? Surely Piastri's going to come out ahead of Verstappen here. Right, so here we go. No, yes. What's happening? Yeah, Piastri comes out ahead of Verstappen here. So it would have been a late call for McLaren maybe. They might have just followed Verstappen. Therefore, might not have been the smoothest stop. I'm not sure. Fernando Alonso gets a penalty for launching Zhou Guanyu into space. The Stake F1 moon program there. I'm looking at the Lando start. The Verstappen stop was a 2.7. and the McLaren stop was a 2.6, and McLaren actually did it slightly faster. But now, theoretically, yeah, 10-second penalty, by the way, not even 5 seconds, 10-second penalty. Now, Verstappen needs to get past Piastri. Piastri trying to get Verstappen a penalty on the radio for crossing the right line. Oh! Piastri playing the Alonso role there. Piastri playing the Alonso role. Is that true? Well, we think Lewis Hamilton is possibly going to get a penalty. We've got some F's in chat there. So Piastri stays out. So it feels to me they're sort of ruining Piastri's race here in the context of Lando's race. Are we going to see a penalty for Verstappen? And if it is going to be a two-stopper, he will serve that. And 5 second could make it quite tasty. Welcome, Catfish. What happened to Leclerc? Oh, I'm not sure you want to know. But then again, look at Charles Leclerc. He's just heads down again. I'm looking at a replay here. Was it a dangerous release? Oh, Lando Norris needed to slow down. And Norris saying he launched right into me. I'm not sure how this was. I need to explain. I don't know how this has happened. Because the pit stops are sub 3 seconds. And Lando was more than 3 seconds behind when they came in, I think. But somehow, when they released Max Verstappen, they were releasing him into... Penalty for Hamilton! 5-second penalty for Hamilton crossing the white line. I'm not sure. So it would have been Norris then, maybe telling the stewards there that Verstappen is... and I wonder if Lando, if you're smart and cynical, the cynical Brit, he may have deliberately lifted off to be like, whoa! Goodness me. Do you remember Fernando Alonso did that in Canada? He was like, oh, whoa. Putting your hands up. If you're smart, that's what you do. Do a little bit of acting, like you went to acting school. As Piastri boxes, by the way. So Piastri isn't going to hold Verstappen up. But we'll see. Maybe some 5D chess going on. Some 5D chess going on from Catfish, Gustavo, Jesse and Kim Leonard, who have subscribed to the channel. Welcome on board. There goes Piastri. Drops to the front of, I'd say the leading group, which ends with him, and ahead of him you've got Hamilton, Sainz, Russell and Norris, sort of all evenly spread out. Unsafe release noted. Unsafe release noted between Verstappen and Norris. Chat, what do we think? Do we think they would give Verstappen a penalty for unsafe release at the home circuit of Red Bull? How are the stewards going to get home at night? Hamilton on the radio. Okay, Lewis, so we do have a 5-second penalty. We just need to get our head down and get on with it. Yeah, sorry, guys. Hamilton knows that you overcooked it. He knows. Looks like the race starts 10 minutes in Greece. Enjoy. Ryan says no, I think. With all of the conviction of a FIA steward. Verstappen Norris incident again confirmed. Unsafe release under investigation. Yes, under investigation. Mako saying Lando is not a cheat. I'm not saying he's a cheat. I'm just saying that you might be like this. You might be like, whoa, oh my god, I had to... like that. Verstappen just pulled out in front of us and my steering wheel came off. It was very dangerous. Snowline saying, bah humbug. Snowline, what do you think? As a fan of Verstappen and Lando, what are the chances of a safety car here? I'd say not great because everyone's driving so cleanly these days and the cars are reliable. Kim Leonard didn't know the channel existed. Well done. Welcome, Kim Leonard. Hamilton radio again. Not sure what it was this time. Maybe they were telling him how they're going to do the penalty. Sergio Perez has decided to wake up and he set the fastest sector 1 out of anybody. Unforgiven player saying this race is nuts. A Snowline saying Lando knows how to play the game. Well, Lando Norris obviously has a YouTube channel. Is he going to go a little bit YouTuber there? We will see. Welcome Piccolo Ultrasound VM. How's your day? My day is really good actually. Although I had to play some golf in the morning. I don't really like playing golf. Much rather be karting if I could. But there we go. It's about Hamilton apologised to his team for the penalty. Yes, indeed. I'm having a look at Alonso here. This might be where he launched Guan Yu's into space. Oh, he locked up on the inside. Yeah. And that's why it happened. Fernando Alonso, at the very least he could have done is give that position back. I wonder if he'd given it back, he might not have got a penalty. Very clumsy move from Alonso. I'd love to hear his no doubt excuse on why that happened. But that is 100% on Fernando Alonso. Bob says, I'll play you a golf next time instead of recording. Maybe that's where we do the next podcast, on the golf course. Jasper Robertson says, wasn't Tsunoda 10th? I don't know, possibly. But he's now 15th. Yeah, good morning, Sergio Perez. Welcome to the party there. And Oscar Piastri also on the move. Sets his fastest Sector 3. And fastest lap overall. But really, there's only 2 drivers in the 109s. And you guessed it, it is Verstappen and Lando Norris. Now, the story of the last few Grand Prix has been in the latter stages, Lando starting to catch. And we're not halfway through this race yet. We're not even halfway through. But it seems to be at the end, Lando seems to kind of, or McLaren, have a good idea of how to look after the tyres. By the way, I am going to be at McLaren very soon, so if you've got any questions you want me to ask, put them in the Discord maybe. Exclamation mark Discord. Let's show Guan Yu pits. And we'll probably get lapped by Max Verstappen. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc is not lapping particularly faster than anyone ahead of him. So it's not looking great for Leclerc here if he wants to pick up a point or two. Mako says, put Carlos in the Red Bull. Well, they had the opportunity, they decided not to. Gear issues for Max. I saw Verstappen was on the radio. And maybe Norris sensed it because Norris has just gone faster than Verstappen. Okay, is this the tipping point that we've seen so often where Lando Norris might start to catch Verstappen? A 7-second gap. We've seen this. If you've been following on this channel, we've been streaming every single race this season. This could be where we start the countdown. What do we think, chat? Let me know. Leclerc was on the radio. That might be if you're just wondering, like, what are we even doing out here? What's the point? Leclerc did set his fast Sector 3 out of anyone. So, pretty much everyone now has pitted at least once, haven't they? By the way, George Russell's on the medium tyre. Most other drivers went from mediums to hards. And Verstappen's saying still pretty gusty out there. But Norris has decided to go mediums, and he's going to go hard on the last stint. Did Verstappen get a penalty? I haven't seen the conclusion of that investigation. And Snowline is praying here for Max, because it does sound like there might be some gear issues. That time Verstappen was able to lap a little bit quicker than Lando Norris, you can see. And yeah, if we're getting more out of the Verstappen car, we'll let you know. But that might be something that Red Bull wants to manage. They won't want to, they might be saying short shift a little bit. Don't put the revs into the super high band. Welcome, Michael. Mike from Mississippi. Race control Perez incident, speeding in the pit lane noted. That'll be a slam dunk if you're sped. And I've said it before, if you're going to speed in the pit lane, you may as well speed by a long way because you're going to get a 5-second penalty. So you may as well bomb in there at 200 miles an hour and then you might even gain some time. Perez just deciding to speed by a small amount and take a 5-second penalty. Lucy saying Lando has another fresh set of mediums still too. Is the sub count bugged? Maybe, because I haven't clicked it, Phrases. Where is it? Oh, goodness me! We're miles up. Look at this. We're 91.5. It's been zooming up. It's been bugged. This is why we got the best chat. What would I do? What would I do without the chat? What would this stream even be? Just be an absolute shambles. Speaking of shambles, Maverick says bring back Michael Massey. Just for the chaos factor. Rudyard's praying for Leclerc. You might want to save your prayers there for another day, my friend. Not sure he's going to win this race. Welcome, Vanessa Misquita. Has also joined the crewdom. And Carla Vowles. What happened to Zhou Guan Yu? He's been lapped, basically. He's been lapped. He's pitted early twice. No, he hasn't, sorry. He's only pitted once. But he did start from the pit lane. It's Leclerc has pitted twice and Logan Sargent pitted twice, as Verstappen does the fastest Sector 3 out of anybody and is actually pulling half a second out of Lando now every lap. So looks like whatever the issues were with Max Verstappen, he is just deciding to crack on now. Ask questions later. Penalty for Sergio Perez, that'll be for the speeding 5 seconds. And I bet he barely sped. You may as well properly speed if you're going to get your 5-second penalty. Don't know how many times I've got to say that. Yeah, there we go, chatter on it. Sergio Perez does get a penalty there. And Oscar Piastri weirdly on the move. Oscar Piastri just randomly putting in leader's pace from down in P6. He's literally a pit stop behind, but that's not deterring Oscar Piastri. He's still cracking on. Snowline sends some kisses to Max, who's 7.7 seconds ahead at the moment now. George saying Norris will win. Diwaji, what happened to Leclerc? Well, Leclerc had a front wing change early on and then just decided to pit again for banter, which probably wasn't the best strat. Having a look here at Pierre Gasly, I think Gasly might have made a move in his teammate Esteban Ocon. Ocon went defensive. Did Gasly try and go around the outside at turn 3, then do a cutback? Quite an exciting one. He might not be too happy at Ocon defending. You can see Gasly is still behind Esteban Ocon. Remember, in the Alpine team, they've got rid of Ocon. Ocon's no longer going to be there after the end of the season, but they are keeping Gasly. They've extended Gasly. They've given Ocon's money to Gasly. And there we go, Lando Norris, fastest lap, chat. If you're in the Papaya army, I'm surprised that you're not seeing this as potentially a turning point. Because Lando Norris, for McLaren, has just done the fast lap of the race, and, obviously, he's gone faster than Max Verstappen. And who's the other fast car on track right now? It's the other McLaren of Piastri. Gasly on the road saying he's got to pass Fernando faster. We're losing time now. Leclerc pits for the 83rd time. They just keep reusing tyres here. And the Ferrari strategy is definitely an alternate one. They've gone to plan Z for this one. Looks like they are going to send him out again. There we go, Charles Leclerc. Maybe this is the strat. Maybe it was actually an 8-stopper. We were just all too stupid to realise. Having a look here at Leclerc coming into the pits. And they've just got a selection of odd tyres they've got from the car park, because they've long run out of actual Formula 1 spec Pirellis. So he's got a Michelin Pilot Sport on the rear left. He's got 2 Goodyears on the front, and he's got a Bridgestone on the rear right. No further action for Verstappen Norris unsafe release investigation. So no further action there. Tatum saying Leclerc can't even fight Saubers. Yes, indeed. Verstappen that time putting some gap between him and Lando Norris. Jasper, how's Ricciardo doing? Pretty good. Up in P10, I have to say. Doing better than Tsunoda. Has pitted early though. There's a big discrepancy in when people have pitted. You can see Tsunoda pitted 10 laps later, possibly. I'm not sure. That might be they've gone on to used hards as well. But I think Tsunoda pitted more frequently. Professor Logic Norris should have taken this wheel for dramatic effect. Yeah, he should have played it up a little bit more. You know, sometimes you got to do that. Like if you're not happy with a item you've bought, you're like, oh, the Alpines! What are you doing, lads? I think it's Ocon's run Gasly over the sausage at the top of turn 3, at the top of the hill. It's not going to be Gasly's best friend because of that. He's not going to be invited to the Alpine Christmas party, that's for sure. Because Ocon is saying, if you want to get past me, and Alonso on the radio just saying, wow. He's looking in the rear view. No, he's gone back now. Alonso's gone back. Box. Maybe they both sent it on Alonso. I'll need to have a look at a replay there, Mr. Director. Because they were both... that was the issue. They were both behind Alonso. But now they've got ahead of Alonso and Alonso's box. So what happened? Where's the Monaco pace for Leclerc? Very different circuit. Once you get a pole in Monaco, doesn't really matter how fast or slow you are. Especially if you don't need to pit. Which what happened this year because of the Perez Magnussen Hulkenberg crash on lap 1. Gasly's asking for team orders. Well, I think Gasly's just promote himself to team principal, then he can execute them. Imagine, like, you know, in football you have player managers. Do you think you could have in Formula 1 have a driver team principal? Something's on fire in the Aston Martin, looks like, which is very hot. Alonso on the move. I do need to... Oh, there's a 14.4 stop time. I'm guessing that's a front wing change. What happened here then? Right, I'm on board with Gasly. Remember, Gasly's behind Ocon. Ocon's behind Alonso. They're coming into turn 1. Ocon goes to the inside. Ocon gets ahead of Alonso. And then Gasly's behind Alonso now as they come out of turn 1, going up the hill. Alonso flicks on the DRS. Gasly's behind Alonso. Ocon runs Alonso off the road. And Gasly tries to go around the outside of Ocon. And presumably Ocon's going to yeet Gasly, sort of. Gasly, what was that? What, Ocon's just ran about 83 drivers off the track in 2 corners. Good stuff, I say, Esteban Ocon. Keep at it, crack on. You are making no friends in the paddock. I like Esteban Ocon. I've met him in Monaco. I've raced Esteban Ocon. And he's not someone, like I said yesterday, who's born with a silver spoon Formula 1. He's sort of what you might call a working class driver, for lack of a better word. He's there because of talent, not he's not paid for. As I saw an RB cash out. Was that Daniel Ricciardo making a move on the Williams? No, it must have been Tsunoda. Yes, Tsunoda and Albon locking up into turn 3. There are some decent overtakes here, I have to say. It was about saying Ocon has promise as well. I feel like he often wants to prove himself too much and overdoes it. I think he's quite a difficult teammate. Daniel Ricciardo now comes into the pit lane to box for a set of new tyres. What happened to Alfonso? He got Ocon'd. Well, no. Yeah, he did. He got Ocon'd on the rundown. It was a bit like what happened with Alonso a few years ago at the Circuit of the Americas. Do you remember when he went sideways? I think that might have also been Esteban Ocon or Pierre Gasly, if my memory serves me correctly. This is definitely going to be at least a 2-stop, I would say, because we've only just hit the halfway mark of the race. And it's a lot of fun today, I have to say. I'm really enjoying it. Who's Alfonso? Fernando Alonso, the legendary Spanish driver, started at Minardi, won 2 World Championships for Renault. Definitely Fernando Alonso. C saying Ocon strolled him. Click Perez is just trolling, might get lapped by... You're trolling there. There's no way Perez is going to get lapped at this rate. Stop yapping. That says pure yap there. From the CEO of Yap Inc. in the chat. Ricciardo disappeared. No, Ricciardo presumably has been lapped when he boxed as well. Because the Verstappen pace is just relentless. So there's a lot of drivers here that need to lap a second time. So need to box a second time. And when they do, they're going to get lapped by Verstappen. They might get unlapped when Verstappen boxes, but that's why. So you can see here, Perez, Hülkenberg, Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Albon, Stroll, Bottas yet to box, in my opinion. And that's why that crewdom are still ahead of Verstappen. So Verstappen will overtake, definitely up to Ocon, will overtake them when they box. There we go, you can win a backpack if you want. Walk around town proud with the new backpack. Is it me or Ocon never gets along with his teammates? That is the accusation, yes. That is often levelled at Esteban Ocon. Maybe Flavio likes him though. Maybe Flavio's going to be like, that's my man. If I need someone to crash into a wall at Singapore. Verstappen, I don't know what's happening. The tyres are suddenly really bad. As Nico Hülkenberg pits. Keep an eye on the Verstappen times. 1 minute 10.2. So the pace has dropped a little bit from the 1 minute 9.4s and 5s. But most importantly, it's pretty similar pace to Norris. Although it looks like Norris this lap is going a little bit faster. So there's Hülkenberg in the pits. And Albon as well. I wasn't sure whether Hülkenberg was going to come out ahead of Max Verstappen. Because Hülkenberg was a little bit further ahead. It's been a really good race for Nico Hülkenberg, I have to say. And yes, Hülkenberg will come out, I think, possibly just ahead of Verstappen there. But Albon is going to be well behind. And the gap between Verstappen and Norris is still 8 seconds. Still 8 seconds. Isabel, I mean, Alpine was also not thinking it through when they paired Gasly with Ocon. You see the drama come from miles away. I'm all here for it. I mean, Alpine's just been a bit of a dumpster fire this season. I love it. Chris Collectible sub, just tell you that it's Alfonso, not Alonso. I think I found the infinite subscriber glitch. Right, what's going on here? Gasly's ahead of Ocon. And I'm just trying to see how it happened. I think it was turn 4. Gasly went round the outside, which is basically he put the gauntlet down. Ocon said, if you push me in the gravel here, you are basically going to get fired. And Gasly got the move, and then Ocon tried to go around the outside into 5. Didn't work. So that's how it's happened. The Alpines are just all sense of team order, principles, unity has completely broken down. It's like France at the 2010 World Cup. It's just gone very much Pete Tong here. You love to see it. There's a very Gallic sort of identity to that. Race control incident between Ocon and Alonso noted. So Esteban Ocon might be in trouble here with the stewards. Delegan is saying the gap is not closing. What's the gap between Hamilton and Carlos? You can just work it out yourself there. If you see, it is almost exactly 3 seconds. 3 seconds at the moment between Carlos and Hamilton, but I think Oscar Piastri is probably the driver to keep an eye out for, because we know he has the pace, we know the McLaren's fast, and potentially, well, Russell's going to have an interesting strategy here. Russell's going to go onto the medium tyres for the last stint. Sorry, no, Russell's going to go onto the hard tyres because he hasn't been on the medium tyres yet. My bad. Russell's he's gone medium, so he's going to have to go to hard at the end, whereas the other drivers are going to have a choice. They can go medium or hard. Chris saying Verstappen sector 2 is half second slow. Was that a lap ago? Maybe a mistake. Looks like Vincent Voss's WRT are doing well in 24 Hours Spa. That'd be good for them. They've had terrible luck since I interviewed their drivers last year at Spa. Valentino Rossi and crew they had. Their Kubica as well at that time. Rooker's saying Norris chipping away at the time. 7.2. So that gap, if I recall, has come down a little bit. So maybe at this stage of tyre life, Norris catching, and maybe Norris is holding his cool. He wants to keep the gap like this, and then when they go on to the final set, then we might see Lando. They might unleash Lando, say Lando qualifying laps from now on, and it puts Verstappen under some sort of pressure. Maverick, I have a feeling this will end up at Limousin, Spain. Not sure what that means. So the gap is coming down now. Actually, 6.8. The gap, I think, is coming down significantly, and I wonder if that's a bit of traffic for Verstappen here in the finished shape of Valtteri Bottas. We will see. Bottas is due to pit. Wonder if he'll come in now. That would be great for Verstappen. And he does! Great news for Verstappen. And Pierre Gasly comes in as well. Insane say Daniel Ricciardo is so skibbity. That's what all the F1 press are saying at the moment. Do we think Lando can manage these hards to the end? No, I don't think so. Not here. Not with the sort of medium speed corners in the middle of the circuit. I don't think so. Free Room saying race elimination round. Don't know what that means, but I just hope you're having fun. Pierre Gasly, it was held a little bit. A 3 second stop. Maybe they were just taking it cautiously. And Piastri now is just a second and a half, bit less. Albon crossing the line at pit entry. Alex Albon looks like he's going to get a penalty. And Charles Leclerc, with the banter strat, doing 104 pit stops in this race, is somehow up to P14. And like I said, it will be a huge dub, relatively speaking, very relative, if Charles Leclerc picks up a point here. D6 saying Perez all alone from his perspective. Here comes Ocon in then. So, oh, something came off an Alpine there. Something came off an Alpine. And Esteban Ocon pits. Where is he going to come out relative to George Russell? Sorry, I don't know why I'm saying George Russell. That's not really relevant. It's Pierre Gasly. I'm not sure. It looks like he's come out behind Gasly. So Gasly's done an undercut on Ocon. And it means he's going to have a very angry Esteban Ocon breathing down his neck. We love to see it. Jermaine says Hamilton is exactly what Ferrari needs. Look, 3,000 people watching at this point in the race, just before we get the top runners pitting. Let's do a nations check now. Let me know where in the world are you watching from. Where in the world are you watching from? Is it going to be Netherlands that wins it? Let's see. Just put in the chat where you're watching from. Netherlands coming first. Netherlands, USA, Netherlands, Germany, Boston, Croatia, USA. Hang on, USA, Croatia, Australia, Belgium, India, Netherlands, Germany, USA, Australia, Philippines, Czech, UK, India, Edinburgh, Australia, Singapore, Netherlands, Germany, Bangladesh, Netherlands, Canada, Philippines, Greece, Sweden, Latvia, North Korea, Australia, Pakistan, China, Netherlands, Sweden, Thailand, Singapore, South Africa, Holland, Dubai, Zimbabwe's here, Malaysia, Crete. Is Crete not part of Greece? Bangkok, Thailand, and then we've got regular Thailand, New York, USA, South Africa. Very international stream we have here, as you can see. Malaysia, I just wonder if Malaysia's up there, or if it's the same person spamming Malaysia. Canada, Curacao, Czech, Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, India, Skibbidyland, Brisbane, Mars, Australia, Cambodia in the house, Gran Canaria, Wales, Jamaica, okay, Ethiopia, Argentina, South Africa, Texas, Ricky Bobby in the house. Not sure Monaco's here. Not sure who's won this one. Taiwan, Perth, Turkey, Nigeria, Swaziland, Brazil, Italy. Our first person from Italy. Nepal, Bangkok, Sri Lanka, Albania, Austria. Adam maybe at the circuit. Another person from Skibbyland. Okay, George Russell pits now. So with 25 laps to go, I think what's interesting in this race, by the way, is the pace of Verstappen. Because even when Verstappen pits, there's still going to be a lot of people that are lapped. So the Verstappen pace here is like, at the moment, he's lapped all the way up to P7. That's not super indicative because he hasn't pitted yet. But when he pits, I think it's going to be a race where he potentially might be lapping into the points here. He could be lapping into the points. Jasper saying everyone is about to be lapped by Verstappen. And Sergio Perez is next up. It's not, well, Perez and Verstappen both need to pit, I believe. Actually, I'm not sure, because Russell's just pitted. Does Perez need to pit? I'd be surprised if Perez needs to pit. You think Perez is on the same strat as Russell here? I'm thinking from New York, South Africa as well. Yeah, you can win a backpack if you want to. Hannah McGarry, and just a reminder, if you want to see more of these, please hit that subscribe button underneath. It's completely free on YouTube. You just click it, and basically, when we're live next time, YouTube should let you know, and it really helps me out. It's completely free. So please hit that subscribe button. Maybe we can get to, I don't know, maybe we can get to 92k today, I'm not sure. Obviously pushing for that big 100 as Carlos Sainz comes in. Int means interval. The gap between car Lando is insane. So here comes Carlos Sainz out of the pits. And I think, well, was George Russell always ahead of him? Yes, he was. George Russell was also always ahead of him. And I'd be surprised if Perez needs to pit from there. Where's Perez? Oh, he does! How's Perez cooked his race so badly here that he's going to be a pit stop behind Carlos Sainz? What has Perez done? How is he so far off? Welcome Crazy Ed from Limassol. 441 likes. We're pushing. We're pushing again for the 1k on the like front. It's possible. A few more big heaves. And Piastri's ahead of Hamilton, by the way. That's happened. And when Hamilton pits, is he going to drop behind Carlos Sainz? That I'm interested to see. Will he drop behind Carlos Sainz? I would say yes, definitely. So Carlos Sainz has moved himself up into some. Well, he's solidifying that position. I'm looking at the move here. Piastri on Hamilton. It was pretty straightforward into turn 3. Hamilton did try and come back, but I don't think had the speed coming down the hill. As George Russell on the new compound is putting in purple sectors, purple laps 1.9.1. Welcome Greg Sirachi, welcome Scenes Lit, welcome Patrick Panigan, Captain Bled, Lucas as well, Gokun Hotan, Vital, Brian, Desire, Evo Roland, Dark Child, Adam Brewer, welcome along everyone to the community. Great to have you on board. What is a race that's sort of brewing. A safety car would be interesting here. It would really benefit Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Piastri and Hamilton. It's crazy to see how far ahead Norris is from Piastri and Hamilton, by the way. Yeah, Carlos Sainz did pit. Max increasing the gap. It's 6.9 is the gap. I wonder if actually Lando is managing the gap. Snowline says, warm welcome to all our new community members. Yes, welcome to the community. If you're part of the 91,600, great to have you on board. This is so much better. It's such a better way of following F1 than I had when I was growing up. Actually seeing what's going on all the way up and down the field. But going to the front of the field, and when Verstappen pits here, I wonder if you're Norris, do you try and undercut Verstappen? Do you try and go like quite a few laps earlier if you feel you got the pace, or are you just going to be reactive? Let's see. No worries, Carla Vowles, great to have you on board. Is Verstappen having issues with the lap cars? I don't think there are, unless he's lapping people twice. I don't actually know where they are. Comes from Zimbabwe, you're a long way delayed, my friend. Liam, is it more there's spots of rain? I can see not dropping camera. That might just be George Russell sweating. I'm not seeing any rain myself. Not seeing any rain personally. As Carlos Sainz gets a purple sector 2. So 109.3. So looks like you can go a second a lap quicker on the new tyres if you box. And I just wonder if Norris might want to force the issue, get a second or two for free. Surely Verstappen will just cover him. Idea what that means, D6. Literally, I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what that means. As Verstappen looks like he's going to box. Is he going to box? Yes, Verstappen boxes. And I think he was actually, potentially, in lap traffic that was sort of going the same pace as him because they won quicker tyres. So it was a good spot there. Norris covers him. And now you're going to see all of these drivers. You can see all of these drivers unlap themselves here. It's very interesting to see how many drivers have now unlapped themselves. Considering, I think a lot of these drivers, especially anyone who's on the hards, is going to go to the end of the race. Because now Verstappen needs to lap all these drivers again. And something's happened in the pits here. Surely, yeah, 6.5 second stop for Verstappen. He's lost a load of time. And it was a quick stop for Lando. It was a 2.9. So they've gained 3.5 seconds for free. It's not simply lovely for Max. He's lost a load of time in the pits as Piastri pits and Perez as well. So Verstappen, the gap is now 2.8. It's a gift, everyone. It's a gift for McLaren. Out of the blue. And Verstappen's surely going to be fuming here. Big drama there for Red Bull. It's a slow stop. It's basically a 7-second stop. They've lost 4 seconds. Look at the gap now. This is the chance for Lando. He knows it. 7/10 to get. Oh, Verstappen locks up. Or was it Perez? It might be Verstappen locked up. Yes, because Perez and Verstappen might be in big trouble here with the tyres. It was a huge lock-up. But he goes around again. Oh, goodness me. It's like Formula E yesterday here in the lead. There was a mad lock-up into turn 4 from Max Verstappen. Completely unforced. And look at the sector times from Lando Norris now. 1.2 seconds. Lando surely is going to get into the DRS window here. But he's got to deal with the traffic that Verstappen will be spewing out the back like red shells or blue shells. Can't remember. Verstappen overshot the box. He overshot the box, I think. And then there was just a long wait. They were just chilling. They were just chilling. I think it messed up the procedure. They changed the tyres, and because he was forward, they were like, "What do we do now?" It was like a computer error. And then he locked up, front right lock up, little bit of a flat spot, I think, on the front right. Coming into turn 4, 1 second now for Lando. Chat, this is the time. Let us know in the chat, who are you supporting? Are you supporting Verstappen? Are you supporting Lando here? Let us know, because you're about to see them go head to head. What a privilege it's going to be. Here we go. So let us know if you're Papaya Rami or if you're Max Verstappen here, because it's going to be a head-to-head within DRS. And I wonder if there's an issue for Verstappen. I wonder if this could be a second win of the season for Lando. 1 wins. That is Ricky McQueen, by the way. Happy Canada Day to my fellow Canadians in the chat. And thank you for the great play-by-play of the race. I listen weekly. Thank you so much, Ricky. If you're listening, you won't be able to see me. Give me a thumbs up. But thank you so much for the Canadian $5. Please, 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 chat. Can we share the love for that? $5 Canadian goes a long way to support me to do these things. It's just my hobby, doing it in my spare time, and that's why your support, it goes directly into this channel. This is not like a big company or corporate thing. It's just me following my passion here. So thank you so much, Ricky. I really appreciate it. I know you've been enjoying the last few races in particular. Tell you also been enjoying the last few races has been Lando Norris. He's now just half a second behind Max Verstappen here as they're going to go around turn 1, 0.6. But he will have DRS. He'll have a double DRS situation. They've actually stacked the circuit with DRS. They couldn't get enough of it. 0.2. This could be it. This could be it. Goodness me. This could be the moment. Norris is really, really, really close behind now. Super close behind. Hey, a happy Canada Day as well, everyone. What is going on? Norris now 0.6 behind. Remember, he won't want to overcook the tyres. He will not want to overcook them tyres. How many laps remaining? There's a big clue up there. You can see it at your leisure. See where we are in the race. And more traffic coming. Remember, Lando's going to have to be navigating this traffic as it comes through the back of Max Verstappen there. And now, if you're Lando, do you play a short game? Do you play a long game? Do you go now? Do you apply a lot of pressure? Or do you think, I'm going to look after my tyres and go at the end? I don't know. I just don't know. Left rear didn't come off for Max. Pit stop was a 6.5. And there was a 2.9 for Lando. D6 saying, overcook thy tyres of Verstappen like you're some sort of deity. 1.2 is the gap between Verstappen and Norris. And I don't think there's any more traffic till Ocon. Could Esteban Ocon be a spanner in the works here? Well, if you know Esteban Ocon, yes, he absolutely could. So it could happen here. Look at the difference in lap times in 1 and 2. Everyone else right now is frankly, I'm just going to say, irrelevant in this race. This is all about the battle for the lead here. It's all about the battle for the lead. My drink is just it's a big Coke Zero. Mary Hutton, I fell asleep. Can you say big thank you to man Janet? We always said big thank you to, was it Marvin? Can't remember. And Janet as well in Boston. It's all the Boston crew. Welcome along. As we're going to see Lando again within DRS. So, the story. What a great privilege it is to follow this season, by the way, and see this sort of emergence of Lando Norris and catching the last season we did all the race last season. Verstappen was virtually invulnerable, but not the case here. Am I supporting Lando or Max? Not supporting particularly either of them. Got a Max car. I've got a Lando car here. And I've obviously got a Verstappen jersey. So, interpret that one how you will. Ahmed saying you should go long. Verstappen under pressure, do a mistake. I'm thinking back to like Canada 2010. And Vettel making that unforced error in the Red Bull near the end of the race under pressure from Jenson Button in the McLaren. Well, now in the Red Bull we have Max Verstappen, and behind we have another British driver. It's Lando Norris in the McLaren. So that's what I'm thinking here. 0.7 seconds as they go over the start-finish line. Or strictly, I think, the finish line here. And 0.6 they close using that DRS, going around turn 1. Remember, we know that the Red Bull was stronger in the middle sector in qualifying. But we know that Verstappen was able to hang it in turn 1, as are most cars. That means if you can keep in the slip, you might get a tasty DRS down on the exit from turn 1 as you go up the hill. And here Lando's still only half a second behind. 108s now. They are really pushing for it. They are clear of everyone else on the circuit. This is mano y mano. This is now exactly what we want to see. Two young drivers in two of the fastest cars in the world on a purpose-built amazing racetrack like the Red Bull Ring here in Spielberg in Austria. And it is very, very, very exciting right now with 14 laps to go. So if you're McLaren, the laps are going to tick down. And I'll tell you what, if Lando gets ahead of Verstappen, that will completely flip. All of them McLaren fans are going to think the laps are taking ages to tick down. So if you're the driver in front, you want those laps to keep coming down. Norris again pretty close. Did he get a good exit? Is he able to work out Verstappen's lines in the middle sector? Maybe how we can do a slightly different line to get in cleaner air and have a bit of a slingshot through the last two corners. 0.1! 0.1 between Norris and Verstappen. Is he going to send it on the exit? He's first! Verstappen is in first. Norris is in first place. He's overtaken Verstappen into turn 3. I'm going to see how that went down, but Verstappen will have DRS on the way down. Are they going to come together in turn 4? They look neck and neck. Looks like Verstappen's got it back. Maybe it was round the outside. I'm going to let you know exactly what happened. Lando sent it up the inside like he did in the sprint race. Ran wide off the circuit. Might be investigated. He ran wide off the top of the circuit there at turn 3. He then went defensive to the inside. There was a back marker. And Verstappen went to the outside and was clear, sort of turning in for turn 4. So I don't think it'll be investigated because Lando lost the position. He also locked up the right front. That's one lockup for each of them that I've seen on the right front there. Verstappen would have been on the radio immediately saying, he overtook me off the circuit. There we go. A little bit of a smarting sort of strike across the brow of Verstappen there, delivered by Lando Norris. He again sent it from miles back. It was a big send. Big lockup, didn't make the corner, went deep, stayed ahead. But he's just showing, you know what? I'm willing to do this. And I remember when I was winning my championships in racing, I would often do the same thing if I was second. I'd say, I'm not just going to sit here passively. I'm going to ridiculously send it. I don't care if I run off the circuit and have to give it back. I want you to know that I'm here and at any moment I can strike. And it seems like Lando Norris is doing the same thing. Professor, I bet Verstappen is enjoying it. I'm not sure. I think Verstappen wants to get his 4th world title here and sort of regroup for next season because the momentum is very much slipped away from Red Bull this season. I think that's completely fair to say. Next mistake will earn Verstappen a 5-second penalty, apparently. So, we go again. 12 laps to go. Don't go anywhere, by the way. If you're enjoying this, this is it. This is the battle for the lead between Lando and Max Verstappen here. So here we go. Lando Norris, half a second behind again. Esteban Ocon is the next lap car. Norris inside track limits was noted. Is he going to go for another big send? But he will chew up the tyres like that. He will get flat spots. Let's see. Lando Norris really close. Maybe he'll try and go round the outside at turn 4. We saw Alex Albon try and do that on Lewis Hamilton a few seasons ago. And let's be honest, it didn't end up well for Alex Albon, that one, even though I'm not sure he was really in the wrong. But that's a danger when you try and go around the outside. You put, as I've said when I do my masterclasses for sim racing, you put your fate in the other driver's hands. Now, I've got a feeling Lando might try and regroup on the next one here. Let's see. Chat, come on, I want to know who you're supporting. I want to know who you're supporting here. Are you supporting Verstappen? Are you supporting Lando, Red Bull, McLaren? Put your support in the chat. Let's see. Let's just see who the support is. Lando crying on the radio, apparently. Now, Verstappen is going to start to get DRS from the likes of Ocon and then Gasly, Ricciardo, Max in the head. Lando Norris, half a second behind. But I reckon Verstappen has DRS this time from Ocon. Ocon gets fully out of the way. Verstappen 0.4 behind. Will it be another big send? Yeah, Norris track limits is under investigation. Here we go. We got Papaya, but it could be anything. It could be the Orange Army. It could be Papaya. Ricky McQueen from Canada just likes good racing. Thanks so much, Ricky, for the donation. I really, really, really appreciate it. It goes a very, very much a long way. It means that we can do this and it's free for everyone, which is super cool, I think. We got Lando, Max in there. Max, Lando. I think Lando pitted a lap, they pitted the same laps. They got the same deg on the tyres if they both put a new set on. And now Lando 6/10 behind, might have another window here because Verstappen is not going to have the DRS on Pierre Gasly this time around. Lucy's there supporting Lando Norris. It's here for the taking. And who knows, maybe McLaren had the fastest car. I've said this before, and they've been gifted a little bit here. They've had to take less out of their tyres this race because of the error in the Red Bull pit stop. 0.6 from Lando Norris as they exit turn 1. Go up the hill, putting the pressure on, half a second. Probably go to 0.4. Yes, it does. 0.2. Is he going to send it up the inside and make it a stick this time? No, I don't think he is. But maybe he's actually trying a different strategy. Maybe he'll force Verstappen to go defensive and Lando will pull out wide and take a faster line and try and go clearly around the outside of turn 4 and sweep back before the apex as Verstappen did on him a few laps prior. 0.3 seconds, 0.4. You can expect that gap to go up now in the middle sector here. Welcome, Lincoln Thompson. Welcome, Novaledit. By the way, 4,500 me watching. If you're enjoying this, we do this every F1 race. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button if you want to see it. If you've never seen this before and you want to see it again, hit the subscribe button. It also really helps me out. This is just my hobby YouTube channel and I love doing this. Right, Lando Norris this time 0.6 behind. They're starting to run into the traffic train now of Gasly, Ricciardo, Magnussen. So Norris, is he going to try and have a rocket exit from turn 1? Looks like he's getting a little bit closer here. Maybe he's also looking after the tyres as well. Max is hanging on, Craig says in chat. 0.5 now for Lando. 0.4. You can see that Norris's tyres are a little bit newer. Scrub sets for both of them then. And now they're really going to start to... It was 0.1 around the apex. 0.1. Did they make contact? No. I'm going to let you know what happens. I'm looking at a replay now. Oh, they're neck and neck. It seems. Why is Ocon appearing there? What's going on there on the standings? What? I'm going to let you know what happened here. They came up. Exit at turn 1. Up to turn 3. Did Lando send it? Lando went round the outside. There was a bit of wheel banging. He says it's a puncture. I think it's a puncture for Verstappen and a puncture for Norris. I can't believe it. They've made contact and they've both got a puncture. That's where Ocon's got ahead of both of them. I cannot believe this. I cannot believe this. The tyres are off the rims. They're good. Both. This race is going to continue. Are they going to make it back? Are they going to make it back? No, Russell might win this. George Russell might win this race. This is absolutely insane. I said before, penalty for Lando. 5 seconds, that might be for the one before. Yeah, that's for track limits. Goodness me. Oh my God, what has happened here? Punctures for both of them. This is what I wanted. A bit of spice now between them. No longer best mates. They've really got to hate each other, haven't they? Because someone has got to take the blame for that one. George Russell is going to sweat his way to victory here. And now maybe Carlos Sainz will wake up and Piastri's it. Maybe Piastri will fancy it. Piastri's trying to go around the outside of Carlos Sainz. Piastri's trying to do Carlos Sainz at turn 4. Hang on a second. Piastri's in P2 as Verstappen comes in and out. Verstappen is ahead of Lando. Oh, someone's going to be in big trouble here. Someone's going to be in big, big, big trouble. Lando pits now. The tyres absolutely thrashing around the right rear rim. Contact between them. That's why we saw Ocon flash up on the standings. Ocon had absolutely prime seats for that. Keep an eye then. 6 laps to go. Oscar Piastri, what are you made of, son? Let's see. I need to see a damn replay of that because that is the most dramatic moment in Formula 1 we've had, I think, for years. I genuinely think that is like Baku between Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo, or it's like at Turkey. That is like Turkey between Norris retires. Norris retires. And I tell you what, one of these drivers, virtual safety. VSC. Imagine a safety car now. Imagine a come on, just for the banter. Just for the banter. Just for the banter. Do a safety car now. Do a safety car with like a two lap restart. Just for the bants. Goodness me. Chat. Well, we've had people popping all weekend saying, oh, F1's really boring at the moment, but you just never know. Right, I'm having a look here. What happened? Going into turn 3, Lando went to the outside. Oh my goodness, I think Verstappen. I think it's on Verstappen. I think it's on Verstappen. I think it's on Verstappen. I think Verstappen squeezed him too much. And then Lando still tried to get him back. He didn't realise they both had punctures. So Lando tries to go round the outside at turn 3. And it's just a case of whether Verstappen tried to squeeze too much into the racing line. Ooh, there's going to be differences of opinions there. There's going to be differences of opinions. Graham is a very experienced racer. Says Max moved, squeezing Norris. This is going to ruin friendships, this one. So, where are we? 5 laps to go. We're back to green flag running. And it's 3 seconds between Piastri and Russell. Now, remember, I've been saying, oh my goodness, that wheel on Norris just absolutely shredding the car when he was going round. George Russell replay, I'm looking. Did he get hit by debris? Maybe he was probably saying, crikey. Right, so this is what it's going to come down to. Let me put that in. Is George Russell, because of the weird strat, is now on the hard tyre and Piastri's on the mediums. So Piastri is on the what you would imagine might be the faster tyre here. So if Piastri wants to make himself a hero, he can go for it, but there's only 4 laps to go. Eric, they're not going to be buddies here. Snowline, I can see a Verstappen-Norris divorce. If they'd both retired, I'd imagine you'd have a Schumacher-Coulthard style bust up in the pits there, and I'd love to see that. Don't know who I'd back. So Piastri 2.8. Piastri, if you want this, it's there for you right now. You got a George Russell on the hard tyre, and you're on the mediums. And remember, you feel like there's been a big injustice here because your lap time was deleted in qualifying. Absolutely crazy here. Piastri 2.8 seconds. The gap. There's going to be 3 laps to go when they go over the line here. 2.7. Keep an eye. Sector 2 was good for Piastri. 109.6 for Russell. 109.4. That ain't quite going to do it. He'll need to really pick up the pace here. Chat, by the way, again, if you're new, please, 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 for me, hit that subscribe button. If you want to follow these races in the future, we do every race in this channel. It really helps me out. Hit that like button as well. I'm sure we can get to 1,000 likes because it's been an incredibly dramatic Grand Prix. But now I'm going to focus on Verstappen. What's in for Verstappen here? Where's Verstappen? Nothing for Verstappen. He does a fastest sector 2 just for banter though. And the fastest lap. Oh, he's just showing who's the boss. He's too... Is Hamilton in danger? No. But Verstappen just angry now. Gets the fastest lap. But Piastri 2.3 seconds. Piastri 2.3. Piastri 2.3. 2.2. 2.1. Oh my goodness me. He was half a second quicker in sector 2. Chat, let me know who you're supporting here. Are you supporting George Russell or Oscar Piastri here for the race victory? There's going to be 2 laps to go. So he's going to have one. He can try and get DRS for that. If he can make a second here, he'd get DRS. He needs a qualifying lap. I'm not sure it's possible. Piastri is really going for it. Send it, son. Come on. Let's see. 2.4 now, though. Was there an issue, maybe? Maybe he went wide. Oh, I think he made a mistake in turn 1. Toto's nodding his head. Toto thinks that George Russell has got this. Piastri's in the chat. We can see Russell as well. Vlatka saying Oscar. 10-second penalty for Verstappen. Has that come through? Well, 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 well. Ooh. Piastri 2.4. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see George Russell take another race victory here. Oh, Lando Norris is not happy. No one's really speaking with him. No one's speaking with him in the McLaren garage. I don't know if they're... What's going on? I'm going to stay here for the interviews. I want to let you know what is said, and I'll actually listen to them and let you know on the stream. So we're going to keep this stream going because this is going to be explosive. And it is now the last lap for George Russell. I think it is going to be George Russell. Snowline's had it now. W's in the chat for George. Yeah, if you're a George Russell fan, put those Union Jacks or those George emojis. Do we have George emojis in the chat here? Derek took a rest. You can't take a rest on these streams. I've said it before. You cannot take a rest. You can't take a rest. You don't know what's going to happen in motorsport this season. Last season was different. Last season was a little bit, we kind of knew. This season, you don't know. Welcome, Frederick Dre. Thanks for the subscription. Welcome to the community. Karen says the FIA loves Brits so much. But here is George Russell. He's had one career victory before. Do you remember? He stood in for Lewis Hamilton in, I think it was Bahrain, a few years ago, and was close to a race win, and it was sort of snatched away from him. He felt, and there we go, Russell wins the Grand Prix. Who could have believed this even 6-7 laps ago? George Russell wins, Oscar Piastri second, and Carlos Sainz third, Lewis Hamilton fourth, Verstappen fifth. But this is only the beginning. And by the way, welcome KCR Kip, good to see you. By the way, this is why Red Bull can't afford to have Perez just being absolutely washed. Because they will lose the Constructors' Championship if they put it all on Verstappen's shoulders. Because drivers are going to be coming after Verstappen and fighting closely for the victory. And that means you need Perez to be scoring solid points, and just 7th doesn't cut it. Verstappen literally had a puncture and has finished well ahead of Perez here. In fact, who was that? Was it Perez was trying to get past Hülkenberg at the end, locking up, making an absolute mess of it. Great result for Nico Hülkenberg in the Haas in P6. But I'm going to listen to the interviews and let you know what goes on. I'm going to let you know exactly what goes on in these interviews in what I think has been the most dramatic race since maybe Singapore last season, maybe more dramatic than that. Matthew Valance, what happened to Norris? Well, I haven't seen a penalty. If it's a 10-second penalty for Verstappen, then it won't affect it anyway because he's going to be ahead of Hülkenberg. So when you're that fast, you can kind of do what you want. It's like a parking ticket. Thanks, you later, Vesti. But yes, bear with me here because I'm going to be listening in to the driver's briefing room and to the interviews. I'm going to let you know exactly what's going on. Hot off the press, and obviously great for George Russell here. Right place, right time. That's where Lewis Hamilton should have been, but he's not. And it's George Russell. You got to put yourself in those positions. So if it comes off, John Slayer saying unpopular opinion, Hülkenberg be one of the top drivers in a better team. Well, we'll see when he goes to Audi. Gnarly saying this is one of the craziest races ever. Well, this is what it should be like. It should be. You should have battles for the lead, and it should be close, and there should be contact. And sometimes it's going to go too far. I'm thinking, you know, going back to Prost and Senna, or going back to Webber and Vettel, or Ricciardo and Verstappen, or Hamilton and Rosberg. You want people to be fighting for the lead, and it means something. This is the first time I think it's really starting to mean something. Well, I'm going to listen to the interviews. Obviously, Norris and Verstappen won't be in the driver's enclosure, but we might have an opportunity where whoever's going to be doing the interviews is going to put it on the screen and say to the top three, well, what do you think about this? And obviously, we'll have the driver's room as well. They should hash it out on iRacing. I'm just saying, I've raced Max Verstappen on iRacing, okay, in my sim racing. Max Verstappen crashed into me. I'll say it, he crashed into me. He did exactly the same thing as he's done here, which is I was on the outside, wasn't I? I was on the outside. And he just assumes that you're going to move out of the way, and he's not going to adjust his line. And here, you got Lando Norris on the outside, and Verstappen's like, I'm just going to take my line. And you cannot do that. Season getting better by the race. Snow, the fact that Georgie Girl wins my home race is completely unbearable. I'm going back to bed. Sorry to hear that, Snow Lion. And, well, there's going to be some big drama here. All the mechanics very happy for George Russell. Kufluga says, can't believe George, hate that. 1994 Schumacher moves. Schumacher on Damon Hill. Does anyone remember Schumacher on Damon Hill? Schumacher on Villeneuve? Anyone remember those days? That's now, I don't want to make you feel old, but that's 30 years ago. So if you remember it, then, you know, you are a experienced F1 fan. Let's put it like that. Welcome NS Justin, Zephydim, Mikey, Bar, Shahal, and Sumad as well. Please do remember to hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And I'm going to listen in and see what happens here. George Russell just taking his helmet off. Going to get weighed. Shakes hands with Carlos Sainz. It's a win for Mercedes. Toto Wolff is really happy. This is his home Grand Prix, obviously. Schumacher on Rubens Barrichello. Yes, at Hungary. But that wasn't for the lead. That was just for... That was just being an alpha, basically. Rory remembers those days. Liam dislikes Max even more. Max Verstappen looks like he's fuming inside as he gets weighed. Gets his ticket for his weight. And he looks like he's absolutely about to explode. As soon as there's an interview, I'm going to listen into it and I'm going to let you know what's going on. Meanwhile, Fernando Alonso, out of nowhere, just decided to get a fastest lap. Just to take it away from someone else. Did he take it away from Verstappen? Classic Alonso there. 4 teams winning this year. Yeah. I thought those 2 guys are cool. Well, they were cool until about, I'd say about 10 minutes ago. They were really good mates. Right. Post into it. I'm going to listen here. Let me just see what happens. If there's anything interesting, I'll just mute this. Cool thought just asking Carlos Sainz whether he saw the drama ahead. Carlos Sainz saying, hang on, I had quite a good race. He's just saying, do you think you can win at Silverstone? So he's not, Carlos Sainz not really in the mood to talk about that. They need to do the Bottas thing where they put it on the screen behind and say, what happened here? You've been teammates with both these drivers. You're the best person in the world, literally, to give an opinion. But instead it's like, oh, do you think you're going to do well at Silverstone? Show him the damn footage and get an opinion. Max got a 10-second penalty. Is that confirmed? I haven't seen it. Thanks, Marcus. Right, let's see. Next up, they're going to interview Piastri. So I'll let you know if Piastri says anything different. So, yeah, people are jogging onto the track. Or yogging, as I think it's called. Piastri saying it's only his 4th podium, but he feels like he wants that win now. He's close to a win. And we'll think of that time. It will feel like he's been really hard done by with that penalty. Let's see if he talks about Norris. He hasn't seen what happened with Lando and Max. I reckon Verstappen and Lando have been taken in by their PR teams respectively, and they're going to be working out a PR line here. Right, George Russell now. He was saying that he was watching on the screens and he was kind of hoping that they'd crash. He's only 12 seconds behind. Russell says like super happy to have won. As you might expect, he's over the moon. He's loving it. He doesn't care about that. Why would he? But he was just chilling, watching on the TV again. Like, oh, I hope Lando sends it. I hope Lando sends a big one here. He's going to bait Max. No question. Interviews are done there, so might hear some more stuff in the green room. But yeah, it was Lando. Lando came in. I'm about to do this one way around the camera. I'll do a video on it. But anyway, I don't know if I'm gonna have a look at a replay. I'm gonna have a look at a replay and tell you what's going on. Or was it Verstappen over the line? Hang on. So, Verstappen was on the radio after the race. He's saying, ridiculous. What were they doing? And Christian Horner was saying, yeah, he didn't behave correctly. But you're going to say that in the heat at the moment. You're going to, it's like, if you've got people on your side, you're going to defend us as natural instinct. Right? Just listen to the green room. Sainz didn't know where they crashed, so they're going to see it for the first time. I'm going to watch it and let you know. Hopefully it's going to come up on the replay really soon. It's funny, it looks like Piastri and Sainz don't really know each other. Even though Piastri got his seat because Sainz moved on. Right, let me see now. Okay, so what happened is they all they saw it and they laughed, and George was like, "Oh, we shouldn't laugh about it." You got to remember that Piastri's is a teammate of Lando. None of the others are teammates. I think as a racing driver, what they're laughing about is that they're saying it was just inevitable. Like they were just gonna come together. It's a bit like Senna and Prost. You'd be like at Suzuki, be like, yeah, it was just gonna happen. I don't know whether there'll be a view on Mark and Chimmy, Roberto, Deck, and Joe as well. I don't know whether there's going to be a definitive. I mean, this is going to get milked. This because it's such a like Formula One needs drama, it needs conflict. We know that to grow the sport because it's based on 2021 levels, and this is the exact drama that it needs. It really needs it. So this is going to be blanket coverage, like on everything. But the actual truth of who was at fault, I think the reality is once once Norris has got a nose on the outside, I think Verstappen needs to stay in his lane. And you can't squeeze. You can't squeeze him on the outside like that. That's my view. I want to hear your views now. If anyone's thinking anyone has a view, then let me know. Wilson says disgusted with Max's driving. RCME says I think Max was nasty. Feel a great call. This will be every drive views, including on this channel. I'll have to make a video of it. But right now, what do we actually think? Verstappen moved under braking multiple. The thing is, sometimes it can look. We saw George Russell in Spain actually defend very late down the straight, so it was like almost one movement going out and then in again, because he's making his defensive move and then coming back. But this Verstappen had gone defensive. I need to you know what? We're going to put this on screen. Hang on. I'm going to get a top-down image. I'm going to get a top-down image of the cars. And we're going to put it on. Color, transparent. Amazing. This is going to be so good. Alright, just bear with me a second. And now I need one of the Red Bull. Ooh, need a transparent one. Amazing. Okay, right. Doesn't want to save. 1 second. Ah, there we go. Okay, save. Okay. So, I'm going to put these up on screen. We're going to see. Okay. Image. F1. Okay. Yes. Yes. Love it. Okay. Ah, look at this. Okay, so this is. I need to rotate it. Rotate. Yes. Okay, we'll just use this, right? Let's say these numbers here. Let's just say these numbers here are sort of the curb, okay? And then let's say the corner goes like this, yeah? And this is the curb, like here. But the corner goes like this. So we're talking. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Okay, I'm gonna use this as a mouse. We're talking about this corner here, yeah? This is where it happened, okay? It happened here. Normally, most of the drama happens here at turn 4. This is where Alex Albon and Hamilton crash and everything. We're talking about this corner here. you can see there's some runoff at the top. There's a sausage curb when there's runoff. Now, what happened on the previous lap is... oh, you know what? Actually... Oh, no, I can't do it like that. Oh, yeah, I know what I can do. I know what I can do here, because... Oh, my goodness. Hang on, I can be an actual genius. I can be an actual genius here. That's not... Hang on, I can be an actual genius. Wait. Wait. I got this. Oh, goodness me. Maybe I'm not going to be a genius. No, I am. I am determined to be a genius. Hang on. Yes. 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 Okay. Yes! Hang on. No, the stream's going to be... The stream work. PC's fine. Hang on. Yes! Just sometimes my stream ability just... Honestly, even I am surprised. Okay. So, we're talking about this corner here. I don't actually know how to... If I could, I would rotate this map like a little bit more, but I don't think I can. Order, rotate 90 degrees. As I filter it. Don't know what that was. Okay, it doesn't matter. It's good enough. So, we're coming up here. We're coming up. Let's just. This is the corner we're visualizing. Okay, we're visualizing that corner. So on a previous lap, Verstappen was around there as he was about to turn in, and Lando just comes up the inside, locks up. He locks up here, and he goes, and he goes into this. He goes into that runoff there around the outside. He stays ahead, and then Verstappen overtakes him on the back straight. Okay, so that's happened previously. So Verstappen stayed on the outside. And almost like as a surprise, he's come from so far back. Lando's just been like, and literally as Verstappen's about to turn in, Lando's there. He's like, oh, better not turn in. And Lando just shoots through the other side and actually stays ahead because he goes on the runoff. So, yeah, you have to make the car sounds at home yourself. So then Lando stays behind for quite a few laps, you can remember, and he gets really close and he's like into the braking zone, he's like that. Okay? This time around, Lando's close up the straight. He's really close. So Verstappen goes to the inside. He defends the inside. So I'm using the red ball as a pointer. So as the car's coming up here, he's on the inside here. So what... let's make Lando a little bit bigger. So what Lando does is he goes up the inside. He just sort of... A bit like you see in Formula E when they just do this to like lift and coast. So he goes up around here. So Lando's about here. This is where Lando is. I'm just seeing to remind myself. Yeah. And this is why I think you have right... Is it Lando's right rear? Yeah. So the thing that punctures on Lando's car is the right rear. So as they go into the braking, Lando on the inside is basically like there. That's where they are, right? And they make contact between the right rear and the left rear of Verstappen. Now you've got to use... It's not meant to be one-to-one with the track. You've got to use your imagination a little bit. And the question is here... It looks like Verstappen was starting to come across like that. So is this movement from Verstappen, that movement there. Yeah? Now the thing is that, let's say Lando's not here in the corner, right? So then Verstappen's coming in. Verstappen he can take the outside line. He can go all the way to the curb, so he can be here. See exactly where the nose is. He can be all the way on the outside line because you want to be there to apex that corner. You want to open it up to apex like that. The problem is, with Lando, if Lando was ahead of him, you obviously wouldn't do that. You obviously wouldn't go like that, right? The problem is in this circumstance, Verstappen's sort of moving like that. I'm going to listen to Lando. I'm going to listen to Lando now.
Keep your head down.
So it's pretty explosive from Lando. It's a pretty expensive for Lando. I'll just tell you what he said, but I think a great point from Animate there. Toto doesn't want to blame Max. He wants Max for the Mercedes. Toto should start blaming Lando. 5D chess, but McLaren's their customer team. Oh, goodness me. Toto can't blame anyone. One more point from Verstappen. So Norris just called Verstappen stupid. Says that he's lost a lot of respect for him. He says it was a stupid move. He said he did it 3 times. You can't react to the other driver. Norris just went in really hard on Lando here. I'm going to listen to Toto actually. But they're going to talk about obviously Russell winning at the beginning. I just want to get this turn 3. It doesn't matter. No, so I'm trying to listen to stuff and say it. Lando went really hard on Verstappen. He said Verstappen was really stupid. He said he reacted to him. He said Lando was trying to avoid him 3 times. He couldn't avoid him the last time. And if he doesn't admit it's his fault, then that's pretty stupid. He's going to lose a lot of respect for Verstappen. The interviewer said he's still going to play paddle and everything. He said it depends what Verstappen says. So the ball's in Verstappen's court. The PR person at McLaren did not look super happy. I think I might be at McLaren this week, so I might ask them about it. But what is Verstappen going to say? Let me just listen to Toto. Still chatting about it. It's a good... Toto's really happy, obviously. Right, Speedhead and Max closed it. Let me just catch up with what you guys have been saying. Yeah, Lucy has got it. If he said if Max did nothing wrong, he will lose respect for Max. Max ruined his own race as much as Lando's. Pete, Max does it a lot. He drifts to put the car on the outside of the curb. It's just... I think Max knows what he's doing here, because there's levels to this, right? And I've raced enough in real life to understand like a few different racing driver psychologies, and you're trying to like out-psyche each other. If Max most of the time was ahead, right? He's probably going defensive down the straight. He's quite far ahead of Lando, and he's going like that, okay? And he's trying to say to Lando, don't try and go into this space here, because I'm going to close it. There'll be a crash. So he's done it, he's done it, he's done it. That's what Lando's saying. And then this time, Lando's been there just as he started to... Well, he's been more than that. He's been there. Okay, so Lando's going to be like, look, you know, you can't do that. Lando will be doing his own stuff as well. As Max is moving across, Lando will be doing stuff like lifting and then coming inside a little bit, just having a sniff here. And Max will see that on the mirrors. He'll see him disappear on the mirrors. They'll be like dogfighting in planes. And he'll see Lando appear here. So it's all a lot of psychology. Questioning of Toto is possibly not of the highest quality. Warfun says they both were dirty. Timby, if you go for a gap, you're not a racing driver. Liam Max was at fault. There's no way Lando could have passed there. Well, no. Well, this is the question. You're here. So again, I just want to point. I'm going to use Lando as a car. This is where they are in the corner. They're like here. You see these markers? These are braking markers. 50, 100, 150 if I remember for my racing. So they're in the braking phase. So they're around here, right? And this is where, as Verstappen starts to move across, it's almost like... But I need to see this. Ideally, I need to see a top-down angle. Sky just keeps showing like dramatic angles that aren't very helpful. And the contact is Lando's right rear and Verstappen's left rear. That's where the contact is. GT, I guess you can turn into cars under braking now. I think the reality is that you kind of... The physics dictate that if there's a car there and you squeeze them, unless you're going to bump them out. If it's wheel to wheel, you're going to bump them out. Or if it was GT3 cars, you could bump them out. But in open wheel cars, in open wheel karting even, where these guys started or finished their karting careers, I mean, that's almost a death sentence. P says it's clever racing. Bob, this is standard crash happen. The only reason we've not seen it much recently is because he's so far ahead. I'm not sure why it's so difficult to understand that Red Bull messed up and still were ahead, and then Lando hauled up McLaren. Max had to be aggressive and send it. Thing is, if you're Norris here, you do put yourself in a weak... According to physics, the laws of physics, forget the laws of F1, the laws of physics, you put yourself in a weak position here on the outside. This is why in my coaching I always advise drivers, try and be clever and try and get that space on the inside. So let Verstappen come across and turn in and start your braking in a straight line as you come across like that and end up there. But there's different levels to this game because in Formula 1, it's, you know... there was a comment there. Max wasn't going to overtake. I do kind of agree that Max ended up... If Verstappen hadn't moved across, and by the way, I need to confirm that by looking at better pictures. But if Max stays exactly straight and there's a car's width on the outside, Lando at best is going to get here, right? Lando at best is going to get there. Verstappen is still going to control the corner on the apex. As they turn the corner on the apex, Verstappen is still going to control it. Callum says, I think Max should at least get penalty points for what happened is pure dirty. Well, McLaren have put out their stall here. They're saying that's Max's fault. But has the 10-second penalty been confirmed, by the way? Has the 10-second penalty been confirmed? Graham says, Norris, yeah, maybe it's some 4D chess from Norris just trying to squeeze Verstappen to the inside. So Norris goes a bit deeper in the corner, does a cut back into turn 4 that we saw have been quite effective in the race. Welcome CBGSR. James, I think it's the track's fault. They need to open up that turn. I won't blame the track. Fracture says bro came probably just to cry about the crash. It's confirmed. Okay, well then the steward then I would be very surprised. Okay, or let me put it another way. I would strongly expect Verstappen, having been in with the PR team, to come out and say, you know what, my bad. I misjudged it, and I'm really sorry for Lando, because he's got the penalty, and he's actually come out really well from it because he still picked up points. And apparently he got fastest lap. That's what Lando was saying. But this is the thing, like I've been saying, it is very hard. I've raced Lando Norris and Max Verstappen online, actually. It's very hard to race Max Verstappen because he will just deny you the space here. And I've raced people in real life that are the same. And to be honest, I've driven like that as well sometimes in real life. When I've been the championship leader in a championship in karting, I will drive like that, and I'm like, I'm the championship leader. You know, you will get out the way, and that's the psychology. But yeah, I saw, but Lando, I think the interview said to Lando that he got fastest lap, so I don't know what was going on there. When I saw the standings here, I saw Fernando Alonso had it. Phil says he won't say that. So chat, what do we think? Do we think Verstappen will apologise for this or not? Because what you were... So... Oh, Verstappen interview. Let me take you... Max coming out swinging here. So, Verstappen, not going to apologise. He's saying people can say what they want. Stewards can say what they want. Christian Horner. Let me get that as well and I'll let you know. Red Bull line is to blame the pit stop and say that's why the race was gone for them. Okay, the Red Bull PR angle is key just to try and play this down, but they're rattled. I know what's happened here. Let me just listen to the end of the corner interview. He's got Ted Kravitz, who people say isn't Red Bull's biggest fan.
Winter Toto.
So what's happened here? So the Red Bull PR line is, let's downplay this. Let's say it's not a big deal. Let's say we'd already made mistakes in the race with the strategy in the pit stop and there was an issue with the car. And the incident was like, yeah, whatever. And if people push on the incident, let's blame it on Lando and say Lando got loads of track limit violations. Now it's Stella at McLaren. Stella is putting a knife in here at McLaren. McLaren are going hard on this. Okay, they just got off. This guy just cut him off, even though he's like spitting absolute bars there. So Stella at McLaren was like, "This is what happens when you don't punish Verstappen." And Ted Kravitz said he's talking about Brazil 2021. Remember Brazil pushing off the white lines with Hamilton, and he's saying Verstappen and Red Bull have got away with it too long. And his words directly like is they're ruining their reputation. Like, you have to punish. The punishments have to be proportionate, otherwise stuff like this is going to happen. So Lando and Andrea Stella at McLaren have come out really strong against Red Bull, and the Red Bull line is that, oh, it's not a big deal, and Lando had multiple track limit violations. Well, Stella was saying that, look, Verstappen had been moving under braking multiple times. So it's just, McLaren really want to push this, and remember, these people at McLaren, they will be held accountable within the McLaren group, you know, the whole division. You've got the road going side, you've got stuff like Formula E, Extreme E, IndyCar, all this sort of stuff, and the F1 division. They'll all be vying for budget, and these are going to be valuable points they won't have at the end of the season, and they're going to be saying, well, that's not our fault, Gov, that's because of Max Verstappen. So they're pushing super hard on it, and Red Bull's saying, everyone just forget about it. Yeah, you know what Christian Horner's going to be like about it. He's like, no, it's all Lando's fault. I think the appropriate penalty thing, Stella was saying, it's not really a argument. You never have appropriate penalties. I mean, that's not how it works. It's like, depending on how you view like penalties, you can never actually have a true penalty. But I think what he's saying is that you need to punish Max before. You need to let him know this is not okay, because Max and Red Bull think they can get away with everything. To him, it almost felt like he was saying going back to 2021, where Max had just got away with a lot of it. Remember, Cops was ambiguous between Max and Hamilton. Silverstone 2021. And the way Red Bull are talking about this is the same way that Red Bull talked about Cops in 2021. And Stella was saying Red Bull are not honest. He's saying they're not honest. They're just not being honest here. Like, we need to be honest, and this is Verstappen's fault, and if we're not honest, it's just going to keep happening. So Stella has just turned the knife in. He's gone so hard. And from Callum's point, I think the reason why Red Bull want to play this down is because Red Bull is on fire right now. Like, not in a good way. Red Bull is falling apart, and they don't want any more drama. They don't want, you know, they want to just play this down. This is the worst thing that could have happened for them. And they got Sergio Perez like a million miles off the pace as well. Backward Stella, finish interview. I like Andrea Stella. He seems like a pretty straight up guy. Just saying it how it is. Anthony Davis is going to give his view. I'm not sure I particularly value it that much. Yeah, dry the Netflix clue are just like popping the champagne. But the thing is, someone made a comment earlier like they need to have a meal, and they're gonna fly back to they're all gonna fly back to London today in the same private jet. So, and it's all a gravy train, Formula One. They're all on massive contracts and whatnot, and they know this is good for the sport. But they themselves, it's like they're going to make more money out of it, ironically. So I think in private they'll all be pretty happy about it, I would imagine. The only one is if Lando's genuinely going to be irritated, but I think in the scheme of things, I mean, it's all a little bit of a closed group. That's what I think. Callum says both drivers made mistakes. I want to see Verstappen looking in the mirror. Oh, so Lando did feint. Lando originally, let me tell you what's going on. Lando feinted to go to the inside. So this is as we come up to the straight. Remember, it's a right-handed corner up here. Right-hander. So Lando did feint at one point to come to the inside. Oh, this is a previous lap? This might be a previous lap. I don't know what's going on with Sky's analysis. Never seems to be particularly concise. Okay, this was a previous lap where Norris had gone to the inside like that. He pulled out, gone to the inside. Verstappen had covered the inside. And then as Lando had started to move back to the outside, Verstappen had covered him off. So I think this is the one of the ones they're saying they're not happy with Verstappen doing a double movement. It's a bit interpretive though, because you can take your line back. This is what we saw George Russell do in Spain. Saying Verstappen deliberately trying to push Lando off. Yeah, the Lando and Stella interviews are the ones. But Verstappen was trying to play it cool. He was when he was speaking, he was like, yeah, whatever. But when the interviewer was asking a question, he was like, what are you saying? So he's clearly rattled. Like, Verstappen is very rattled about this. I think that's perfectly obvious. And then, yeah, Verstappen was also in his interview, he said, well, Lando would just dive bomb me quite a few times. He wasn't even making the circuit. You remember I talked about that? In fact, that might have been the one. Didn't Lando get a 5-second penalty? It's worth saying Lando had a 5-second penalty. I haven't seen anyone mention this. It's not convenient for McLaren. Because Lando did a dive bomb and went all the way off, and he got a 5-second penalty for it. And that penalty only came through after they'd come together a few laps later and they were both out of the victory. So I can see Red Bull saying, hang on, Lando had already been punished. I don't know what we think about that. He did get a 5-second penalty. What do we think about that one? So if you're Red Bull, you're going, this guy, he cannot get past legally. He's trying to get past illegally, and this is another one. He's trying to go up the outside here. Yeah, but Verstappen got a 10-second penalty because of the contact. What I'm saying is, Lando had got one before when there was no contact. It was just purely on him just sending it. We'll see. I'll ask him next time I race Max again online. And there was another time where Lando had squeezed Verstappen out, and Verstappen said that in his interview, said I've been squeezed out. It depends who had more the lead. It's not necessarily who's in the lead, because they were, for all intents and purposes, they were alongside. They were alongside each other. But both drivers as well will be trying to protect their reputations, because these sort of reputations do stick as well. So you won't want to be a driver that has a reputation of, oh, I'm really hard to race against. They won't want that. Max was forcing Lando to drive like crazy. Well, no one forced Lando to do the dive bomb like that. That was a decision that Lando took to absolutely send it. Lando gives it back when he gives a penalty. Yeah, but whether he did or not, he still got a penalty. Right now I'm seeing footage. So they're coming up to the 50 board, which is this last board here. So it's really late in the braking phase. So it is really late in the phase. It's really late in the braking phase. If I'm using it as a mouse now, it's here. Max says Max doesn't know how to defend legally. Yeah, we have some fearsome battles at the front. It is good to see. More fearsome battles later in the KCR GT7 F1 League. Make sure to join the Discord if you are a GT7 racer. You won't want to miss that. I think Lando's entitled to be there. It depends. There's different rules about A pillar and B pillar and everything. Don't worry about Perez. He did his job as a second driver. I'm not sure he did much of a job. Thing is, Lando's he's got one wheel sort of on the curb. You could say, should Lando go a little bit more on the curb or not? I tell you what it does make interesting. It does make Silverstone very interesting for next week. So I will be there. Well, I won't be at Silverstone, but I'll be in the UK. I'll be able to check the weather for Silverstone. I don't think it's a sprint, is it? So we'll be doing probably FP3. Look at this mad lad. We'll be doing FP3 qualifying and the race next weekend, last of the triple headers. And then after that, we might be Formula E London, might be the next thing. I'll be doing a watch along live from the track at Formula E. That's all thanks to your support. Let's see what we're doing with Formula E next season. Why is no one talking about how Max blocked fast cars when he had a cup puncture? I want to watch all that back, to be honest. Father, finally someone that didn't back down to Max's go-to defence that pushes others off the track. There we go. Right, chat, what I would say is if you want to continue the discussion, post screenshots, post videos, let's do it in the Discord. Oh, God. Let's do it in the Discord. There's a dedicated F1 channel there. And we can see maybe there's some angles. There's a grandstand? Not really. Surprising they don't have a big grandstand here, right? A massive grandstand here to see all the battles. Thanks, Chaya. Thanks, Tima. Thanks, everyone, for joining us here. It's been a really fun stream. And I'm going to be recording some videos now, doing some reviews, and maybe even doing a video. I think we're going to do an F1 podcast probably tomorrow. And I got something very exciting tomorrow that's connected to all of this that, goodness me, I'm going to ask some people about. But yeah, thanks so much, everyone. Thanks to Lando, Lucy, Professor Seema, Clickrock, Callum. If you do want to keep chatting, then the Discord link is there. And there might be a Sam Bird video coming out tonight, but I'm not sure. Because the F1 drama might be something that we need to cover. We'll see. But thanks so much, everyone. And I will see you all in the next stream, maybe midweek, but definitely next week. I will see you then. Thank you so much. Have a very good evening.